The opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
Today's digital landscape with the spread of false information can lead to dangerous outcomes. It's crucial for everyone to think critically and verify sources and reflect on the impact of what they share. Let's promote responsible communication to ensure that truth prevails and actions remain rooted in reality.
The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Well, hello. Welcome to the Friday Night Shit Show. And I named this show, Damn, This is Shit is Deep. Because it is. We got so much shit. We're should be shocked that we're not drowning in it. There's so much of it. Some of it's good shit, though. Because not all shit's bad. And some shit is funny shit. So somebody brought to my attention right before the show started. So I decided I'm going to give out another award, and it's going to go to this person. So I'm going to put the award out first. And I'm going to share it. It's this one right here. I'm giving that award to Elmo for being naughty. He did some bad things and said some bad things, but it looks like they're covering their ass the same way some of the other big influencers do by saying on Sunday, Elmo's X account was briefly hacked by an outside party in spite of security measures in place. We strongly condemn the aberrant, asthmatic, and racist content, and the account has since been secured. I don't know what exactly they said. Do you know, Bruce?
Basically, like really bad anti-Semitic stuff, but you're on the nice tube, so I can't repeat anything. But it's really bad. Like he was screaming about how we need to release the Epstein files. Jeffrey Epstein was just an atypical person of the Small Hats Club, and all the Small Hats just need to die. He broadcast that to 650,000 of his followers, which would have been a gold mine if you were a based parent having to deal with your dumb kid coming home every day from school and you eating all the garbage out of the teachers' mouths. And you finally see like one of your kids' heroes start speaking at least a little bit of sense. Like, the Small Hats Club, not all of them are bad. But, it's just funny that this happened, and they yoink him off the web. They took the hook to Elmo, yoink, and 36 hours later, they finally apologized on Tuesday about this. And the official word from the Sesame Workshop was, on Sunday, Elmo's X account was briefly hacked by an outside party in spite of security measures in place. We strongly condemn the aberrant anti-Semitic and racist content, and the account has since been secured. These posts in no way reflect the values of Sesame Workshop or Sesame Street, and no one at the organization was involved.
Well, that's shameful that happened, and it had to happen to such a sweet little puppet, but it did. So, I thank you for bringing that to my attention.
It was funny because it's like, wait, what the fuck is going on with Elmo? And I didn't know, like, I didn't see this till Monday. What the fuck is Mecha Hitler Elmo doing now? And
I didn't know anything about it. I hadn't even heard it. I've been so busy, though. I've been so busy.
Well,
I missed it.
We know
it was funny, but the main part I laughed at the most was like the part where Elmo starts screeching like Alex Jones, release the Epstein files.
Oh, it was a video?
It was tweets. But it was like all caps.
I was like, that would have been so funny. That would have been so funny, but I didn't get to see it. But so it was hacked, I guess.
Oh yeah, severely hacked. Funny stuff.
Oh yeah.
Hi, for joining us tonight. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Emperor and Soy Boys Jeremy, Six Nations. I don't know why you didn't get to join us tonight, but thank you for coming and visiting. And Jerry, thank you, Jerry. Let's see who else is in here. I thought I saw a couple more. Oh, Jackie Blue, she always comes in and wishes me good luck. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Appreciate it. And thank you, baby girl, sweetheart too. The thing is that before we get started, I want to play a couple little things that are, like funny, that I think are funny. Other people may not, but I still think it's funny. But let's see. I think it's this one, 27. Yeah, this is really cute. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen anything like this before, but I think it's adorable. And if I ever get a turtle, I'm going to definitely do this.
Oh no.
Oh, that's
Watch this.
Oh Lord.
that
What? Okay,
I know,
it's
isn't it?
definitely.
The turtle's like, look at me. He's a racing turtle. Oh, I just love it. My kids had a turtle for a little while, but I
Damn,
just thought it was so cute. But I never would have ever thought to give it a skateboard like that. That was really smart for this person to care that much for his turtle and see if it would even, be able to adjust to it, to be able to use it. So I just thought that was really, really cool. And now I have another one that I thought was cool before we get started. This isn't funny. I thought it would scare the shit out of me, but a lot of people did this when I lived in Louisiana. And a couple times I got to watch them do it live when I was on an airboat watching it. And it was pretty creepy then, but it wasn't a young girl like this with her dad. This is a young girl being taught how to catch catfish. Have you guys seen these videos yet?
Is this Hannah Barron?
I don't know if her name's Hannah.
Okay, Hannah Barron has the best catfish videos.
Yeah.
Watch this. It's really good. But watch this with this girl with her dad. This might be her.
It's her.
Yeah, it is her. It is her. Watch.
Wow. Yeah. It's a pretty good fish.
Oh, just the thought of the alligators in there. That's what scares me. They can stay down there and walk there, especially with all the squirming that's going on. And they got teeth. People don't realize they got like a sharp teeth in their mouth, and their gills are sharp and raspy. Look how big it is.
She brings up some monster hogs.
Now look at that one. Amazing. Oh my God.
Appreciate y'all.
Oh,
She
wow.
pisses off the left so much just by being a fun fucking outdoorsy person.
And pretty.
Yeah,
and being pretty and a real girl.
Mhm.
That
Well,
was
I mean,
born a girl but acts like a boy. And
she's not acting like a boy. That's a tomboy right there.
He's doing, I was a tomboy. And if I was the way I was when I was a kid, in these times, they would have been trying to make me become a boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like the weird thing that happened recently with Nintendo. They cast Zelda, and they did it in Nintendo did it, which is in Japan, I believe. Mm-hmm. So they did it there, and they cast white people.
The Americans speaking left.
But what's so weird? Yeah, they were the trans community wanted some trans person to be it, and they're like they're boycotting the film now. It's like
that was hilarious.
It is funny.
They always go for the straight L. That's all I can say.
Oh, I didn't see that when I was playing that. That's cute. For the turtle, I thought it was so neat. Yeah, that was really, really genius. Now you'll see pet shops selling them for your turtle. You know what I mean?
What's the problem with that? I love this idea.
Oh, I think it's great. But the thing is, it just took somebody to think about it and play with their turtle with it. And, I went out the other day and was checking the food, because I got these metal containers by my, sitting on a piece of wood next to my coop, and there was a tortoise out there, and it comes and eats right out of the chicken's food bowl. So I don't know. It's just interesting that turtles will eat all kinds of weird stuff, and you wouldn't even think about it. But those two I just wanted to play because I just thought those things were cute and interesting. So the very first thing I'm going to do, I've seen, and I was really happy with it.
I got it.
I thought,
Hence
wow,
catfishing.
this is amazing. So hopefully you guys will think the same thing. It says Blockbuster scandal. Oh, let me close his stuff that he's saying. Hold on. Got to go back up. Okay. All right. It says Blockbuster scandal from documents released by Tulsi Gabbard today. So here we go. We're going to listen to this. This is some good stuff. Let's make sure it's turned up. Here we go.
Also breaking tonight, a potential Blockbuster scandal from documents released by the Director of National Intelligence today. Fox News Digital reporting the Obama administration allegedly manufactured and politicized intelligence to create the narrative that Russia was attempting to influence the 2016 presidential election. This reportedly happened despite intelligence stating otherwise. Chief Washington correspondent Mike Emanuel has some stunning details tonight, looking into it. This released today. Good evening, Mike.
Brett, good evening to you. DNI Tulsi Gabbard declassified documents today from before and after the 2016 election, promising they would show the American people how intelligence was politicized and weaponized by some key figures in the Obama administration. She talks about it in an interview airing on Hannity this evening.
You have some of the most powerful people in our country directly leading at the helm, President Obama and his senior-most national security cabinet, essentially making a very intentional decision to create this manufactured, politicized piece of intelligence.
According to the documents, August 31st, 2016, a Homeland Security official tells then DNI James Clapper that there was, quote, no indication of a Russian threat to directly manipulate the actual vote count. On September 9th, 2016, officials argue the presidential daily brief should make clear that Russia, quote, probably is not trying to influence the election by using cyber means to target election infrastructure. Then after the election, the tone appears to change. On December 9th, 2016, the documents reveal the Obama White House held a National Security Council Principals Committee meeting on a sensitive topic. It included then DNI James Clapper, John Brennan, the CIA director, Susan Rice, who was national security advisor, Andrew McCabe from the FBI, and others. After that, an email came out to Intelligence Committee leaders from an aide to Clapper saying the intelligence community was prepared to produce an assessment per President Obama's request to pull together the information intelligence agencies had about the tools Moscow used and the actions it took to influence the 2016 election. By December 14th, there were leaks saying that intelligence community officials believe, quote, with a high level of confidence, that Russian President Vladimir Putin was personally involved in the U.S. election hack. Then on January 6, 2017, 2 weeks before the first Trump inauguration, a new intelligence community assessment was released that, according to the Office of DNI, quote, directly contradicted the intelligence community assessments made throughout the previous 6 months. Former President Obama's office declined to comment. Brett?
Wow, that is amazing. You guys have anything to say about that?
We knew this already.
Yeah, I mean,
You
why
and I.
do we
Trump
gotta
talked
comment
about
on
it
something
before.
we knew?
It's a famous video of him telling Leslie Stahl this, and Leslie Stahl says, Mr. President, we're 60 Minutes. We can't say anything that's not true. And they knew it was true. They're all in on it. So Trump wins again. It's crazy.
Yeah. This is not a new discussion. We did this
it
5
isn't
years
for
ago.
us, okay? But I can tell you right now, I can have this discussion with one of my sisters tomorrow, and she's going to be, I can't believe it. This is shocking, because they don't want to hear when you're talking about it. When it first happens, they don't want to talk about it because it's bullshit. It's made up. It's conspiracy theory. I mean, honestly, the word conspiracy theory, they're going to have to find another word by the time the Trump administration is finished.
It's a perfectly fine word. Its origin was back in the 60s after we saw JFK die, and the intelligentsia faction of the administration came out and said, we'll just blacklist anybody who talks about any facts for the JFK attack and assassination. Just call them a conspiracy theorist. And so the left has happily glommed onto that, and the Uniparty happily gloms onto that word.
Yeah.
Whenever anybody comes out of the woodwork and says, here's some evidence for you, here's some old newspaper clippings, or here's something from 12 years ago that you don't want to remember. Yeah. So, I mean, it's nice that they're finally fucking admitting this shit, but we've been here standing at this 30-yard line for years.
Yeah, because you know what they're doing now? They are spinning several stories. As we know, the 60 Minutes that Fur mentioned, when I mentioned that Stuzzy Stahl talked about this whole thing that wasn't really true, but then they got scared when Trump was going to sue them for the botched 60-minute interview with Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Then the backlash there is the fact that CBS said, "Oh, we got to straighten up. We got to get rid of all this woke crap." So they let go to Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
Now, what Stephen Colbert is saying and is spreading around is that Paramount is bribing Trump. It's a bribe. It's insane. They're going nuts.
Well, they're going to do that. The thing is they're never going to stop. Just like I said, we have another. They're saying,
"See, he's Hitler. See, they're paying him because they're scared of him." No,
another 4 years of all this bullshit of knives being stuck in everybody's back. If you say anything negative about their side, you see, you're automatically bad.
Yeah, right now, Bruce, what I think is happening, or what is happening very slowly, death by a thousand paper cuts per se. But what is happening is the end of a Godfather movie. Just or exactly what he said, or even more apropos. What did Trump play? The last song he played every movie, every rally he had, the Nessun Dorma song. Don't you will not sleep tonight. You will not sleep tonight. Basically, he's basically saying that.
Yeah.
Rest tonight. Yeah, because they're not gonna wake up tomorrow morning. That's basically saying. And in the Sum of All Fears, they play that song, and then they got rid of all the people, and that's happening right now, where it's all going to come out. So yeah, everything, it's like 3D chess, I guess, or 4D chess. So hopefully everything comes out soon. But it's been a really wild week.
Yeah, it sure has. And this next story basically goes along with what we just watched. So let me pull it up here. Is this one the one?
Can't believe they're all related.
Yeah, I think this is the one. Let me make sure.
What? All these stories trying to tie into each other. Really.
Yeah. Okay, this is the Intelligence Community Inspector General Charles McCullough confirms why Barack Obama framed Donald Trump. This is a little bit different, but here, let me get this ready.
With Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge back in Washington, and a blockbuster letter spelling out more potential problems for Hillary Clinton. Good evening, Catherine.
Right, as the FBI investigation expands, confirmation tonight from a senior government watchdog that Mrs. Clinton's email problems are much worse than previously reported.
According to this letter, first obtained by Fox News, Hillary Clinton's emails on her unsecured personal server contained intelligence from the U.S. government's most secretive and highly classified operations, called Special Access Programs, or SAPs.
These are the crown jewels of the American intelligence community of the United States government.
The Intelligence Community's Inspector General, Charles McCullough III, notified congressional oversight committees on January 14th. The letter says a comprehensive review by the intelligence agencies, who have final say on classification matters, found, quote, several dozen emails containing classified information at the confidential, secret, and top secret /SAP levels. That is even more sensitive than top secret and brings new scrutiny to the presidential candidate's handling of government secrets.
If this information is compromised, we're going to suffer very serious national security damage. There's no mistake You don't accidentally stumble across it and not realize what it is.
Access to these programs is highly restricted and on a need-to-know basis only. The State Department spokesman had not seen the letter, but added,
there are reviews and investigations going on about past email practices here at the department, and I am simply not at liberty to discuss the content.
The new findings are striking, given Clinton's first public statement about her personal server.
There is no classified material, so I'm certainly well aware of the classification requirements.
According to court documents, former CIA Director David Petraeus was prosecuted for sharing special access program intelligence with his biographer Paula Broadwell. Both Petraeus and then Secretary of State Clinton were required to sign non-disclosure agreements, promising to protect special access programs with the understanding that a failure to do so has significant legal consequences.
I think this is a real test for the administration as to whether they're going to apply the law in a fair and equal way and treat Hillary Clinton the same way that David Petraeus
better. A new email first obtained by the Daily Caller shows the State Department knew about the personal account as early as August 2011, and suggestions to use a government blackmail in a .gov account were rejected by Mrs. Clinton's aide, Huma Abedin-Brett.
Catherine, thank you.
Well, what do you guys think about that shit? Right there. Remember all the crap that we had to listen to about how she had that illegal server in her bathroom and they didn't find anything wrong, blah, 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 blah. You know, because we had a leaker that told us about it and nothing happened. And she was bleach bitten phones, her and that Aberdeen woman and her other people hammering, using hammers on phones and doing all this shit. They thought they got rid of everything, but somebody with some balls as big as this basically took some of that stuff and hid it away so that somebody would see it later on. That's the only way that you're finding any of this stuff. But I hope they fry this lady. I mean, she deserves to be fried. Anyone that was fried under them should be wanting and rooting for these people.
But this is
held accountable.
This is against Obama, not Hillary.
Yeah, but Hillary Clinton's letters and stuff, they just showed evidence when she said, and she swore on oath she didn't have anything. Right? Huh?
When?
It said between 2011 to 2017.
Okay.
So?
I'm still
confused. If they did it to Petraeus, why wouldn't they do it to Hillary Clinton? See what I mean?
Okay.
Why, so you don't think that she should get in trouble
but,
for that?
What does this have to do with what does this have to do with what does this have to do with what was done for Obama?
She helped Obama doing whatever it was on her illegal server.
But this didn't mention the server, did it?
Yes. Didn't listen to them talking about it.
But this thing's 10 years old. What's
the statute limitations on this?
I don't think there is anything when it comes to the federal government.
But I don't understand okay, I guess I don't understand either. I'm confused.
Okay, well, I'm going to share that in the chat also. The second one that I just did.
This is old news. We've known this. This is an old report. This is like 10 years ago. So I don't know what the relevance is.
It's relevant because they're finally showing evidence that all the lies that they said about her not having anything on the server, that nothing leaked out, that nothing got out.
Where's that at? Where's that?
That was just in the report they just talked about.
No, it was not. No, it wasn't. I don't. Where is the report right now that came out today or whatever?
Well, they were just talking about it. That one gentleman, I can't remember what his name is, reported on it, and he's the one that's doing the report. Whatever his name is. Do you remember his name, Bruce?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
Damn it. Okay, I'm sorry.
I'll look for it later.
Show the beginning. Show that report again.
Okay, I'll play it again. I'm gonna share it in the chat because his name's at the very beginning, and you see his picture. So hold on, let me do it one more time. I got to go back over to the other thing.
And with Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge back in Washington, and a blockbuster letter spelling out more potential problems for Hillary Clinton. Good evening, Catherine.
Right as the FBI investigation expands, confirmation tonight from a senior government watchdog. The Mrs. Clinton's email problems are much worse than previously reported.
According to this letter, first obtained by Fox News, Hillary Clinton's emails on her unsecured personal server contained intelligence from the U.S. government's most secretive and highly classified operations, called Special Access Programs, or SAPs.
These are the crown jewels of the American intelligence community of the United
Charles
States government.
Faddis.
The Intelligence Community's Inspector General, Charles
And this
McCullough
guy.
III, notified congressional oversight committees on January 14th. The letter says a comprehensive review by the intelligence agencies who have final say on class.
What's this guy's name? Right here. I missed his name again.
I missed his name. I'm sorry.
This guy is the other one. There's two guys, this ex-CIA guy and this guy are the ones that turned in this stuff in January that they found from 2016 that were from the illegal server that she had in her bathroom when she swore under oath that nothing top secret, or even this is even higher than that they said. This is like for the president. That's how high this stuff is. And they've got documentation now to prove that she did have stuff on that server. So that goes against Obama and it goes against Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State. That's what I was trying to say.
Communication Matters found, quote, several dozen emails containing classified information at the confidential, secret, and top secret /SAP levels. That is even more sensitive than top secret and brings new scrutiny to the presidential candidate's handling of government secrets.
If this information is compromised, we're going to suffer very serious national security damage. There's no mistake. You don't accidentally stumble across it and not realize what it is.
Access to these programs is highly restricted and on a need-to-know basis only. The State Department spokesman had not seen the letter, but added,
there are reviews and investigations going on about past email practices here at the department, and I am simply not at liberty to discuss the content.
The new findings are striking, given Clinton's first public statement about her personal server.
There is no classified material.
See, that's the first time she went out public and said there was nothing on there. And when they did all the other interviews, she swore there wasn't anything. And then later on, was it Comey and a few others that came out and said, we couldn't find anything, blah, blah, blah. Well, they're all full of shit. They were covering for her and Obama and Comey himself, all of them. So this is at the beginning of something good, where some decent stuff starting to come out and unfold. And I just think it's awesome. So that's why I shared both of those links in the chat. So anybody who wants to bookmark that, please bookmark it, because there's going to be more to add to this. I guarantee it. I know it. I just have a feeling that more is coming out, and it's going to be coming out more and more and more, just like what Tulsi Gabbard put out. And they're releasing.
Yeah, that's more beneficial. This is an older report. That's why it's.
Well, I know, but this goes along with this. Is when you go to court, the more evidence you have against the people that did the other crime, right?
Yeah, I know.
It helps. So that's what I'm saying. Any of this stuff is all good stuff. We knew she was full of shit, but she was lying. When anyone would have a server in their bathroom that has top secret shit on it in her house, well. I hope she gets to be one of the people that fries for some of this shit.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Hold on.
But I just thought it was very interesting, and hopefully you guys some of you guys will want to take those links and share them with other people, because I guarantee you there's lots of people who have never heard of either one of these things, and they're going to be surprised by it. So I'm going to stop sharing that. And now we'll go to the next little story that we had on here. I just thought it was pretty mind-blowing to actually hear the people on the news say her name and Obama's name, showing what they've done, and at the tip of the iceberg. And that is what is exhilarating to me, is to actually hear people saying things that are real. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just think it's great. I'm really happy with it. But hold on, I'm going to close this one. And okay, yeah. Okay, this one is number 26. So let me go get this one right here. Here we go. Okay. Not a peep from MSM. So all who have aligned with MSM, you will be judged. Believe that. So I don't know. I can't remember what MSM stands for, but it's something good.
Mainstream media.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. Here we go.
According to my research, which will very soon be revealed next week, they've rescued so far 35,000 tender age kids. How you like that? Now, according to Ms. Hopper's research, which I find fascinating, everybody up here should, 70% of the documentation turned in by so-called sponsors, which were lined up by who? The NGOs. Through who? Primarily HHS. There's a pipeline, man. We fed a pipeline of tender age children into sex trafficking and slave labor into our country. We're finding these kids. We're tracking this fraudulent documents. You're right, Ms. Hopper. My research showed a little bit less, 65%. You said 70%. I'll go with 70. So be advised. Be advised. We are building out case files, criminal case files. We're interviewing these 35,000 kids, and we're finding out exactly what the hell happened, how they ended up in the nightmare where they were, and we're rescuing more. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. We're going to identify these children. We're locating these children. We're rescuing these children, and we're building out criminal files based upon the testimony of these young teenagers and the documentation of fraudulent vetting. And many of these NGO employees are going to find themselves wearing orange, be their new favorite color. Mr. Chairman, I appreciate the indulgence. I yield.
It's sad because many times on this channel, I've talked about human trafficking and children being trafficked, and that after Trump didn't win, and within weeks of being in office, he signed executive orders to stop everything that Trump was doing at the border. They stopped doing the rapid DNA testing kits. Why? Why would they stop that? With a guy coming over the border with 20 kids, and he's saying they're all his relatives, and he's taking them to his brothers, sisters, cousins, or whatever, and they could do a rapid DNA test and prove that he was full of shit, but they stopped doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's been a bunch of people saying that and coming forward and talking about that. So this is great. And we have seen tons of kids being saved in these different crack houses. They just did that raid on that marijuana farm, and they had kids working there. Yeah. Okay. So more and more of this is coming out, and he said they're building cases, and you could see how pissed off this guy was with all the stuff that he's digging out. And I want to see people's heads roll, but people have to be patient because we have to make sure all the dots are on the I's and the T's are crossed so that we can put these people in prison. And we can't if it's all just jumbled and done really quickly because they just want to see somebody arrested. We can't do it that way. Are you okay, Ruben?
Yeah, I'm a little busy. I'll just get it going.
Okay.
You're right, bud.
You getting ready to leave?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, I will. What?
You all right?
I'm just asking.
I'm tired. I've got to lay down.
Okay. Well, you have a good evening. Thanks for joining us for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm feeling dizzy right now. Just got to lay down. So let me do that.
Take care of yourself.
No, if anything goes wrong, I'll let everything know. I'm just very tired.
Okay, well, I'm going to share your Twitter handle in the chat. Yeah. Somebody can follow you and get updated with whatever you're doing.
Yes.
But thanks.
Yes.
You have a good night.
It can be said that Obama could potentially face federal indictment.
Mm-hmm.
potential.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe it. I do believe it. I do believe something's going to happen. We just have to be patient. They've been doing this stuff for so long, okay? And they've had so much time in there, just like I said, to bleach bit, to beat hammers and computers and smash stuff and bury stuff, burn things, pour acid on stuff, hide boxes of files, because that's the hardest part. If they actually had people that cared about their jobs in some of these places where they have all this secret documents and stuff. I mean, I don't remember when it was, but I remember it was a huge deal. People were talking about it. Was some guy had went into some place and took a bunch of documents and put them down his pants, and he tried to leave with them. Do you guys remember that? Or do you remember that? I don't remember.
He was stuffing down his pants.
Yeah. So the thing is that I just want to see some of these people finally being held accountable. And people could say whatever they want about Elon Musk. Elon Musk, to me, is the reason why some of this we're even able to get some of this stuff. The NGOs, the stuff with USAID, all this money. And he had all these young geniuses just going through all these files on the computers and stuff like that. I mean, like really fast, getting stuff done, sleeping on the floor, eating in chairs while they're working. This is how excited they were just to get this chance to do this.
How you doing, sir?
They had a chance to change our country again and try to find out where all this money was going. I mean, I always wondered, I'm like, we're making so much money. The government is taking in all this money. Every single person I even knew growing up all paid taxes. And yet they never had enough money. They're always saying, we need more taxes. We need more money. We can't do this. We can't do that. Why? Why couldn't they do any of this stuff? I mean, we got crappy roads, crappy schools. Everything's falling apart. Airports falling apart. Signs that are missing, just tons of stuff. They had to have volunteers to pick up the trash on the side of the road because they couldn't afford to hire people. Who's wasting this money? Well, now we know. Social Security, people were getting checks, people that should be prosecuted. Because if I'm getting a check from my grandfather or great grandpa who is over 200 years old, and I'm getting his checks and taking them to the bank and cashing them, I should be in jail for that because I know it isn't mine. Any person that says, "Oh, I thought I had the right to cash these checks," I don't care. I want to see them go to jail. They broke the law. If I did it, I would be in prison. So I want to see these people go to prison for this bullshit. And maybe the next time some idiot says, "Hey, let's make this thing and scam these people. Let's take this money from this," they won't know. Maybe the other people will say, "You're a dumbass, and if you try to do that, I'm going to report you." And do that because they realize how stupid it is and how it hurts everybody in the long run. And hopefully that kind of shit will start to dwindle down. We'll have less people doing it. So look where it's gotten us with all the cities that just let people walk in and steal $900 worth of product off the shelf. Now it's where you want to go in and buy a gallon of milk. You got to stand there and wait in line until somebody comes and unlocks it and hands you your milk. And what's going to happen once you go shopping and you have 25 people unlock all these cabinets and they fill your cart full of groceries, and then you're walking towards the register and here comes this guy, takes all your stuff out of your cart, puts it in a bag and leaves with it. Just walks out because they're not going to arrest him because it's like $900 worth of product. So then what do? You got to go back in and do the whole thing all over again for the next guy to come and take your stuff. It's ridiculous. The criminals are getting to do whatever they want. And the people that actually work and pay for this whole country to run it, the cops, the paramedics, the airports, I mean, everything, because of us working and paying taxes, all of this works. If we don't have us doing it, nobody gets paid. Everything shuts down. So they better start treating the people that actually pay the bills better if they expect any of this stuff to work, period. I mean, and we finally have an administration that I feel is trying to do that. And I hear so many people bitching about it. And I just don't understand how you can be bitching about saving your tax dollars. And if they can save enough, maybe they'll start lowering taxes because they realize that, hey, when you don't have as much fraud, guess what? We have more money to spend. We don't need to tax everybody till they're in oblivion. Like in California, people are bitching in California. What? Trump hasn't helped us with our gas. Well, it's because you guys have like $4 a gallon taxes added to your gas. So that's why it's $6 and something a gallon. That's not our fault. That's not President Trump's fault. That's you guys for voting for that dumbass over and over again. Nancy Pelosi and whoever else is doing all that shit. So I don't know. I'm sorry. I went on another rant, but I can't help myself. I just get so pissed off. But yeah, I thought that was pretty good. So here we go. Here's another one that I found. I think it's this one. This might be it. I think it is. We'll see if I clicked on the same one again or not. I hope I didn't.
What's the number one most dangerous place for a woman? You're looking at it. In 2022, nearly 15% of all robberies took place at gas stations. These are perfect spots for predators because they can loiter and wait for their victim without drawing attention to themselves. They know you have to get out of your car. They know your attention is going to be diverted while you're pumping gas. Add it all up, and this is prime hunting ground for thieves, carjackers, and rapists. So what can you do? Well, avoid seedy, rundown joints off the beaten path, especially at night. Before you get out of your car, scan the area for anyone who doesn't look right, like men who are hanging out, not pumping gas. If it doesn't look right, trust your instincts and drive away. If you decide to gas up, spend the least amount of time possible outside your car. As soon as the pump starts running, get back in the driver's seat and lock your door until your tank is full. Keep your purse, your phone, and any other valuables in sight. And most importantly, never let your tank get so close to empty that you have to stop at the first gas station you see. Share your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, follow me here and at stevelazarusbooks.com for more.
I thought that was really good advice. Just like I've said many times that, it's getting worse and worse and worse. You can't even go. I couldn't even leave the grocery store and push my cart to my car without having someone approach me for money, directions. Can you give me a ride? And stuff like that. And all I could think of was, what if it was my daughter? What if my daughter was with me and they pulled a weapon on me? What would have happened? How could I protect my kid? It just things like that. And it gets scarier and scarier, especially when you're somewhere for, 10, 12 years. And all of a sudden you start seeing more and more of that. And you just realize that this isn't where I want to live. This isn't a safe place anymore. It's not safe. And it wasn't because you made those decisions. It's because all the people in your city stopped making good decisions on who they were putting in office. And it slowly trickles down on all of us. So go ahead, Bruce. You were going to say something.
I just, I really that you said it, and that video also, said as well, you need to be safe whenever you're getting out and about at the fuel station, or if you're going into a 7-Eleven for something real quick. Make sure you lock your car. Make sure you keep your head on swivel. Don't have your hands be occupied to where you can't, fend somebody off and quickly get to the door, get inside real quick. And maybe have somebody try to call the police for you. But this is just common sense. And living in the city, you start acting a lot different than you would if you were living in a 400-person town that only had a Casey's gas station. There's a big difference between those two.
Yep. Where I'm at now, it's very rural. You have to drive very long distance between neighbors. So if someone drives in your driveway, it's pretty noticeable,
Yeah.
Especially if
and
you have a
the thing
long
is
driveway.
that, also, you guys wave at each other, don't you, whenever you're driving?
Yeah. People wave.
I was always told we wave at each other because we're fucking armed. Everybody is riding with a gun, maybe two. And the last thing you want to do is try to screw with somebody that, they have the ability to not only, prevent you from getting whatever $30 you're going to make from stealing out of their purse or wallet, but also they have the ability to rain, bits of hot lead into your center cavity and make it very difficult for you to breathe without the assistance of a machine. So that's just, something to think about. Not saying that all Texans do that, but a lot of us wave at each other, and
Yeah,
there's
but
various reasons to do that.
in your neighborhoods, okay, when you're in a neighborhood and you would drive up and down your road or whatever, you start to recognize vehicles and people walking their dog. You remember that face or that person's face, and you start realizing who's from there. You see what I mean? So then later on, let's say you're walking your dog or you're watering your plants in your yard, and you see somebody walking around that you've never seen, and you're going to pay attention because you're like, this person doesn't belong in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you pay attention to what's going on in your surroundings instead of being on your phone all the time, walking around or whatever, or any of that type of stuff, you'll notice things. But see, so many people are preoccupied with so many things. That's when you get robbed or stabbed. Even men, okay? He was talking mostly to women, but the thing is, this happens to men too. A man gets out of his car or his truck to get gas. And while he's getting gas, he's got the thing in there and he's filling it up. He runs inside to go to the bathroom or whatever, and he doesn't lock his vehicle or whatever. And when he comes back out, he gets beat up because somebody gets in his truck, takes his keys or whatever, and he can't just get in and drive off. Okay. And then they steal his wallet, beat him up, and maybe even steal his truck, right? So I'm just saying it will happen. But what I do, and it sounds terrible, but this is what I do. I take my keys, I put them in my hand, and I have my key sticking out like this. Because I'm telling you right now, if some guy approaches me, I can just stab him right in the chin or in the eye or in the chest with a key. And it's not going to kill him because a key's only it's going to be maybe an inch long sticking out of your hand. But it's going to give you enough time to run, okay? And forget about whatever, unless your kid's in your car. And you should never leave your car if you got a kid in it, okay? I don't care what it's for. You pull up, if you can't get your gas right then and you go home, don't get out of your car. I mean, I would leave my puppy in the car, but I wouldn't leave my kid. Okay, that's the difference between me and other people, because I've many times stood by a car and waited until the mother came back out or the father that left their child, in a car seat, just sitting in their car. Even though they locked it, they still left their kid. It's easy to bash a window and take a kid out of your car. It's just sickening to me that people would do that. But there's so many things that people just don't think about because you're in such a hurry to get stuff done. Is it really going to make that much of a difference if you're 5 minutes later? I mean, honestly, think about it. I see people weaving in and out of traffic and doing all this. And then later on down the road, let's say 12 miles down the road, they're in a ditch or they've hit another car, all because they had to be there that much quicker. And now they're out, whatever, a car, maybe not be able to get to work, and maybe they hurt someone. So it's just not worth it, people. I mean, there was an accident. Do what? Go ahead. What?
I expect to see the entire chat light up with a bunch of angry San Antonio drivers. How dare you judge me for driving fast? I've got to get around these 18-wheelers here. I've got to brake check everybody else whenever I pass them, too, because I suck at driving and I should take a bus.
Yeah. But I know a few people that are that are police officers and paramedics. And they told me about, it was in a rural area too, that there's lots of curves, in these rural areas, big curvy roads where if you don't slow down, you're going to end up going off the road because it's so curvy. Well, that someone called the ambulance because there was a crash and the car hit a telephone pole, and a few people were hurt. But the ambulance comes to get those people, and then all of a sudden here comes another ambulance, and everybody's like, what's the other ambulance for? Well, down the road from where they crashed, they had hit a sign, one of those triangle signs that says curve ahead or something like that. Well, when they hit that pole, it broke off the sign and it went flying. And when it went flying, someone was mowing on a riding mower and it chopped their head off. So they had another person they left down the road, and we wouldn't even have known who did it if it hadn't been for them being drunk and crashing their own vehicle into a telephone pole.
God bless
down
you,
the
John.
road. Okay, isn't that terrible though?
Yeah.
Because it's just a guy out mowing his yard and he dies because some drunk hits a pole and the sign chops his head off. So it's horrible, the things that are going on out here. And there's not cameras and stuff out like that for them to be able to find out what car hit that pole and knock that sign off to do that to that person. So, one thing after another, it's always going to, like a telephone pole, like in Las Vegas when I was there, when that storm came through and that telephone pole got blown over and snapped at the bottom. Guess what? It takes down a whole bunch of other ones with it when it goes, and it's falling into the street on top of vehicles as it snap, as they all just start snapping down the road until the momentum finally slowed down. It got too far apart, or it was stronger or whatever. But it's dangerous out there, people. And just because you're a guy does not mean that you're immune. But I tell women all the time, just like you said, don't let your car get. I try never to let my car get down to past a quarter of a tank, because you just never know what can happen tomorrow. There could be a huge herd of cows in the road, and you're stuck there in traffic waiting to get by them, and you're on empty already. It ain't good. It's not good. I can tell you lots of horror stories about different people and things that happened to them when they were stuck on the side of the road. Like here, I'll tell one more before I go to the next thing. There's a mom and a teenage daughter in a car. They got a flat and they didn't have a spare. They didn't check to make sure they had a spare, even though they knew they were going to be driving almost 100 miles. Okay. So here comes a car, pulls up. It's a little 2-seater sports car, and there's a guy in it. He pulls up and he says, "What's going on?" And they go, "Well, we got a flat." And he goes, "Well, I don't have a spare, that you can use." But he said, "We don't have a cell phone." And she said, "No, I don't have my cell phone with me. I didn't have it. Why? I don't know." So he said, "Well, I can take one of you up the road. There's a gas station like 2 miles up the road, but I can only take one of you because that's all the room I have, instead of one sitting on the other one's lap." They never thought about that. But one of them left, and it was the daughter, and she never came back. She was gone. They never saw her again. So it's just not worth it. Take care of your vehicle. Make sure you have plenty of gas, and make sure you have means to get a hold of someone if your phone isn't working or whatever. And it's just scary out there, people. I don't care where you are or what state you live in. There's bad people in every state. That's all I wanted to say. So I'll stop talking about this depressing thing, but it's real. This is a real thing that happens to people. But that was the pro tips from the FBI agent. I'll copy that link and put it in the chat, that maybe some of you men might want to share with your daughter or your son in college and say, "Yeah, this is what I've been trying to tell you. There's a lot of bad people out there, and you need to be safe. Here's some tips on what not to do when you go to the gas station." All right. So now let's see what the next one was. I hadn't lined up. So, because it was black, so I can't remember it. Let's see. It's number. Okay, this is it. Here we go. It's black again. I can't see anything. I don't know why it does that. See right here. Look at my screen. The picture's black. Let me know when you're all going to quit paying taxes. I'm in. So I don't remember exactly what this is for because I can't see the picture.
Four people are pleading guilty, all part of a $500 million bribery scandal involving USAID. Mike Emanuel has the story from Washington.
Bill, good morning. The scheme involving cash, NBA tickets, and a country club wedding. According to the Justice Department, USAID official Roderick Watson sold his influence starting back in 2013. Contractors Walter Barnes and Daryl Britt funneled payoffs through subcontractor Paul Young to hide their tracks. It doesn't end there. Barnes's company, working in conjunction with another firm, kept receiving federal funds. $5,000 for human resources consulting late last year. And then later, after suing the government, a contract worth up to $800 million. Matthew R. Galliotti, head of the Justice Department's criminal division, saying, quote,
Their scheme violated the public trust by corrupting the federal government's procurement process. Anybody who cares about good and effective government should be concerned about the waste, fraud, and abuse in government agencies, including USAID. Cutting waste, fraud, and abuse has been a big focus on Capitol Hill across government, a major priority for House Speaker Mike Johnson. The U.S. Agency for International Development has been a target for those looking to trim government spending, with some suggesting the agency funneled taxpayer dollars into ideological projects.
I mean, USAID blew it. They showed themselves to be completely irresponsible. It needs to be redone, and the funds need to be directed properly.
Back to the scheme, the Justice Department says this kind of fraud erodes public trust. Bill?
Wild story, Mike. $500 million. Remarkable. Mike Emanuel, live in D.C. for us. Thank you, Mike.
Wow. I mean, look how much what do you think that money could have been used for?
Everything.
If we didn't waste it. Okay.
Everything.
Yeah. How many good things could we have done to help veterans or to help children, hospitals, nursing homes? I mean, I don't know. I can't even think about it, because I can't even think about $500 million. You know, I can't even think of $100,000. You know what I mean? But
isn't that kind of weird that much money was just being funneled away so casually?
Because
that was so second nature.
So long, all they see, when they're walking down the street, this is how I see them. They're walking down the street, and when they see people working in restaurants or at a bank or at the grocery store, all they see are piggy banks walking around. Just look at that wallet. Wow. They're really putting money in it. You know what I mean? That's all they see us as. We're just their piggy bank. That's all we're good for, is making them more money to spend on whatever the hell they want, for their little credit cards, get their nails done, get their hair done, do all the different things, take their next vacation, buy their new sports car or their yacht, or all the free dinners they get, you know, all this stuff off of us, because we're working our ass off at a chicken plant or at a farm or at the bank teller, you see, or being a septic guy. I mean, who knows what your job is, but you are working your ass off just to have a few measly dollars left over at the end of the week to do something with, go to the movies or go out to eat with your loved one or whatever. And they're just living high on the hog, not thinking twice about it, because there's endless amounts of tax dollars just flowing everywhere. And that's what, when Trump was talking about this, his first term, a little bit before all the chaos hit, about how he had ideas on how to start bringing money back to our country, you know, and stop some of the waste that was going on. And people just roll their eyes like, oh, you know, whatever. I hate Trump, blah, blah, blah. They hate him because he's right. He's right about almost everything he's talked about. And all this stuff that's being released, all these files about Obama and about Hillary Clinton and Comey and all of them, all of truth that a lot of us already knew. But now that they're bringing facts out, they're going to release documents and stuff like that. I'm happy. You know, I don't know how many of them are going to actually see them go to jail, which it would be so freaking awesome to see this happen. But the facts come out and you get to see the documents, and we have books that people can get and read. I just think it's going to be great, because we have so many people that just walk around and blindly believe everything these people say, and that we're the liars, that we are the Nazis, when all we're trying to do is free these people, free them from what they're stuck under, just standing there holding their wallet open for these people that just come and take money out anytime they want, and they're willing to stand there and let them do it. I just don't understand it. I don't understand where that comes from, because
narcissism's a good start.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I thought a narcissist would be the one that wants to steal their money. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just don't understand how these people can just think that saving money and catching these criminals that are stealing your money, your tax dollars, is bad. I just don't get it. All right.
You ever see Nancy Pelosi's ice cream freezer?
Yeah, it's 2 giant freezers filled with ice cream and stuff.
Okay, do you think she got that by all the diligent hard work she performs for us? Okay.
No, I think she's a crook, a criminal.
Okay.
And I would love to see a lot of them, you know.
You keep talking about prison as like the final solution, and
no, the final solution is honestly, to me, is when our Congress gets off their ass and they defund all these stupid NGOs.
It's Janet to talk about the final solution. It will be good for the program.
Yeah, I think they should get rid of it. But they have to do it. The president can write an executive order and do certain things, but it's not a law. You know, it doesn't get rid of it permanently, just like the wall, you know, all the different things. It's going to come back under the very next administration if we don't make it a law. You know what I mean? If we don't, and we don't follow through with it. If we don't defend our laws by prosecuting people that break our laws, then the laws are worthless. The Constitution is worthless if we don't defend it and uphold it. And we have to have judges and people that are in office upholding the law and our Constitution. That's the only way we win. And if we don't make them do their job, then, you know, I just don't see how we're ever going to get past some of this stuff.
I don't want them to go to prison. I really don't. That's
why?
Nice to them.
Oh, you want the wood chippers?
I want wood chippers. I mean, you guys, you know, they help fucking screw the kids. And so, like, there's only one solution. It's just for them to go away in a nice, big, red, misty, you know, and now we have fertilizer that'll go good for your tomato plants or some of those. I mean, the government could make some really good agriculture changes if we just started treating kid diddlers as, you know, fertilizer. That would be preferable, because then they could never hurt a kid again. And I don't care about, you know, I want them reformed. I don't. No, you screwed with kids. You're out of the gene pool. Hey, Tommy's in chat. Tommy, how you doing?
Hi, Tommy. Hi, Joe's Atmosphere. Welcome, you guys. Sorry, I was really reading and stuff, and I can't do 10 things at once. But Hardwicky's in here too. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Hi, Edward Shroom. Thank you for coming in and you know, hanging out for a little bit. I hope you stay for a little bit. We are trying to just touch base on a lot of things that's happening and share links with you of things that we talk about, so that if you don't know about it, well, now maybe you can share it with others. But this right here, I thought was pretty interesting. How many of you guys heard about this? It says the Trump administration has arrested a Subway restaurateur for mass immigration fraud. Have you guys heard about this?
I mean, Subway's trash, but go ahead.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But this shows me how deep into the cities of New York and the different cities in California they're going into and digging down to fight this immigration stuff. And when Tom said he was going to go in, he wasn't going to stop, that they were going to take everything and everyone that shouldn't be here. I think he means business. And this is one of the reasons why I really like him right here. Here we go.
Multiple police officials and a businessman were arrested, accused of running an immigration fraud scheme.
Investigators say that scheme led to hundreds of foreign nationals illegally getting visas. News 2's Alexis Maroney breaks down how this case is unfolding.
Investigators say they don't want the public's trust to waver. Instead, they say the arrest should show their dedication to statewide transparency. Last summer, investigators started tracking what seemed like a high number of armed robberies.
I've never seen anything quite like this.
Many of the victims listed were not from Louisiana.
In fact, the armed robberies never took place, and those listed in the applications were never victims of crime.
According to arrest documents, for 10 years, false police reports were being made by this group of police officials. Oakdale Police Chief Chad Doyle, Marshal Mike Slaney, Forest Hill Police Chief Glenn Dixon, and former Glenmora Police Chief Tebow Onishia.
99.9% of law enforcement is good. We do a great job. We go to work every day. We get up. We do what we're supposed to do. For whatever reason, the lure of money or whatever it is that leads them to do the wrong thing, don't do it.
The fake reports were used by foreign nationals to apply for U visas, a type of visa reserved for victims of crimes. In this case, crimes that never happened.
False visas can facilitate illegal activities in the United States, including financial crime, crimes of violence, narcotics, human trafficking, etc.
The indictment says the owner of a Subway in Oakdale, Chandrakant Patel, paid the officers $5,000 for each false report.
We expect law enforcement officers to protect the public and to honor their trust, not to sell that trust and the honor of their badges for personal gain.
After collecting years of evidence, investigators made 2 arrests at the Crowne Plaza Hotel while they were attending a police chief's conference. The group is facing dozens of counts, including mail fraud, money laundering, and conspiracy to commit visa fraud. And more charges are possible. Court dates for the individuals have not been set just yet, but I'm being told court appearances will happen in Alexandria. In the newsroom, Alexis Maroney, WBRZ News 2.
Awesome. That is the kind of stuff that they're supposed to be doing. And it shouldn't just be because you got a Democrat governor or a Republican governor. That should have nothing to do with it. It shouldn't matter whether your sheriff or your mayor or anyone is a Democrat or Republican, should it? It should matter that anyone who's voted as any person to lead a city or a state or be a sheriff or a police officer, anything we get in there, should want to do the right thing for the people that put them in those jobs. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The taxpayers. I mean, it's their families too. It's disgusting that there's this many people, but it's nice to actually see decent people fighting, right, to give your town back to you, to where it's safer, and you know that the crime rate is going down simply because you got people in there that give a crap about whether or not you could get assaulted here, there, or the other. And the fact that somebody noticed, wow, the crime rate's gone way up. What's going on? Why is this happening? Would you have ever thought that somebody would get a visa and help them stay in the country because they were involved in a crime? I mean, these people are really good at finding loopholes in every nook and cranny of our laws to be able to steal or control an aspect of our communities by cheating and lying and bribing or whatever. I just think it's disgusting, and it's nice to see people in the state of Louisiana being a little safer because somebody saw something and instead of just saying, oh, well, it's not my problem, did something about it. So I'm not one of those people. When I see something, I think it's weird or like, I don't know, I can't put my finger on it, but something's not right, I start telling people, and hopefully sooner or later, someone else will tell someone else and the right person will hear it and say, hey, I know what that is. And we'll get some changes done. And that's the only way we're going to win. So if you have anything else you want to add to this before I go to the next thing.
Good. We're good.
Okay, let me delete that out of the list of my stuff that I've got. Okay, but I thought it was interesting because I hadn't heard anybody talking about it. But it is in the state of Louisiana. But still, it's a big thing to know that there's somebody using that type of scam. And man, those cops getting paid $5,000 a pop to just make a fake account, like, oh, well, this person got robbed while they were getting out of their car, going to the grocery store or whatever. And it wasn't real. It was fake, just so that person that wasn't a citizen could get a visa. You know what I mean? I just think it's shocking how good these people are at finding all these laws to break. or, to do it and get away with it. That's what's really scary. Okay, let's see. What was the next one? Okay, Cat Smash. Gotta go find Cat Smash real quick. Sorry, that's what the name it looks like it is. I don't see it on here. Okay, well, here's one. I'll just take that one right here. All right, here's a different one I thought was pretty interesting about how the Democrats are acting like spoiled brats when it came to Trump's new nomination. I think it was for a judge, right? He just got a new judge put in.
A dramatic moment just happened in the Senate Judiciary Committee. Democrats walking out of a hearing on the nomination of Trump official Emil Bovee to a federal judgeship. Take a look.
Why are you doing this? This is outrageous.
This is a kangaroo court. That's what we have here,
This
Mr.
is
Chairman.
wrong. To violate your own rules without going by the mandates of the parliamentarian. This is unbelievable. There's a way to do this. If you want to force this through, if you want to ram this through, there's a way to do it in accordance to the rules as spelled out by the parliamentarian. It is simple. It is clear. There's a pathway to achieve what you're trying to achieve. But, sir, this lacks decency. It lacks decorum. It shows that you do not want to simply hear from your colleagues. This is absolutely wrong. And, sir, this is to me one of those moments where we are not showing common respect for each other on both sides. I have sat here when we were in the majority and listened to my colleagues' arguments, listened to their passionate statements, and then we voted. This is not that. This is us simply trying to rush through one of the most controversial nominees we've had under this presidential administration. Sir, God bless America. You are a good man. You are a decent man. Why are you doing this? What is Donald Trump saying to you that are making you do something which is violating the decorum of this committee, the rules of this committee, the decency and the respect that we have each other to at least hear each other out? This is a sham.
Vote.
This is wrong.
We'll report.
We're better than this.
Gotta go for these people.
Vote on
The
these
thing is,
nominees for
if people don't see the
What I was
videos,
so struck by,
then
Anna,
how
is
does
that while
anything
Booker
change?
was talking, they continued voting. And what the Senate Judiciary Committee is meeting to vote on today is a whole slate of nominees for various judicial positions. The most controversial of them, Emil Bovee, who is somebody who works for the Trump administration. He is somebody who is very close to the president. And Democrats tried to slow walk his nomination intentionally because they've heard from whistleblowers who they say prove that Bovee had intended to tell the Trump administration to essentially defy court orders, especially when it comes to deporting illegal undocumented immigrants to countries they have no relation to. And so this is a moment where Booker tried to use to debate, to have extra time to talk about these nominees. We already know that he was going to try to stop particularly Bovee's nomination, but you saw there that Chuck Grassley, who was the Republican chairman of that panel, continued through their votes anyway. Booker and Democrats, all of them walking out without even finishing the votes. This committee is still meeting, of course, with Republicans in the majority. They don't necessarily need Democrats present, but still just a stunning moment, especially in this committee that has seen, of course, flashpoints before, but generally the Republicans and Democrats do tend to work well together on this panel.
Wasn't Booker fucking an influencer or a porn star? Or I don't know.
I don't know. I just remember I recognize the name, but I have no idea, what he used to do. Does anybody in the chat knows? I'd appreciate you sending us.
You don't got to give us like the 411. I mean,
tell us, who he was or what he used to do. He just seems very familiar, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but all I know is he's an ass. I think he's an ass.
Not as big of an ass as Elmo is, though.
What's so sad is that just watching, if you go back and watch some of the people that were picked to be judges during Obama's administration, none of that I could see, and the ones that I got to watch, conservative people ever acted like that. They tried to, it seemed like they tried to follow the letter of the law. They gave their opinion. They said they didn't like this, that, or the other, brought documents up and stuff. And then it went on to the next person and the next person. They did that. Okay. And then finally they would pick the judge, and the judge would go and do the job, and they'd bring in someone else. Okay. That's what happens. But it seems like the Democrats are like the kings of tantrums, making the biggest scene, saying the most outlandish bullshit that they can constantly think of. I don't know. Isn't there penalties for acting out under parliamentary procedure? Isn't there something they can do? Like that one guy with the cane, everybody's calling him a pimp or whatever, when he was saying a bunch of stuff. Wasn't he censured or something like that?
I think so.
I don't know. I don't remember. I can't remember. It's been so long that I ever did anything like that. I only went to one thing that we did parliamentary procedure in. So it's like, I wish I knew more about it, but it is interesting. But it does make it everything flow better, and it gives each side a chance to say their piece or whatever, and then they vote on it. So I don't know. I just don't understand why some people can just act like that and walk out, and then they'll get it guarantees that they're going to get voted in again. You know what I mean? It's like, doesn't make any sense. It drives me insane. But this next thing I thought was pretty interesting. I told you I had a buttload of shit to bring up, just stuff that I just couldn't. I just get so shocked over all this stuff. Senator John Kennedy comments on attacks on ICE agents being up at 830%. If you put your hands on ICE officers, you should be prosecuted. You should be sent to jail, and you should get to spend some quality time with Bubba. That's what they said on this post. But I want to share this. It's not very long. It's really short, but still.
Republican Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana is here now. Sir,
I love
hello
this
to
guy.
you. I don't see this ending. In fact, if it's up 830% now, who knows where it'll be 6 months from today? What do you think?
They're breaking the law. And what you allow is what will continue. If you put hands on an ICE officer, you should be prosecuted, you should be sent to jail, and you should get to spend some quality time with Bubba.
Republican Senator John Kennedy.
I love this guy. But yeah, don't you guys agree? Mm-hmm. If you attack a police officer that's doing their job, like I've seen so many videos on YouTube, and it shows a cop that had pulled over someone, right? And they're on the side of the road, and they're fighting with the person that they're trying to arrest. And then a total stranger, a truck driver or whatever, will pull over and run over and help the police officer, wrestle the person down and get the handcuffs on until the other cop gets there, to help. And that's why I wish that we'd never had one cop by themselves. I just don't think it's safe for any cop to be on the road alone anymore. There's just so much crime. People are so dangerous. And, it's sad to say that, but it's horrible. And if you do have a bad cop and he has to have a partner, he's less likely to break the law with a partner that's not also corrupt. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think it would be good if every cop had to have a partner with them on the highway or any of this stuff. Because I just thought I heard a firecracker go off. Maybe it was, but it's kind of late in the year, or late after the 4th to do it now. But that's sad to still know that we have all these people that still are trying to assault police officers and stuff, just because they're deporting illegals, deporting people that shouldn't even be here, that are spending your resources.
But Janet, these people, they're not illegals. They just want to be here. They just want to be in America. That's all they want to do. They just want to have good jobs and benefits and health care and abortion rights. And they just want to have all those things they see on the television. They want that for their own selves and their families. You're just trying to be a big meanie if you're not letting these people come over here and just be part of America. I mean,
I am a meanie.
It's like you have a fence around your yard. What if I want a chicken egg?
Hey, I had that guy, remember? told you
Yeah.
somebody was on my porch because we saw it on the Ring doorbell because I wasn't home. And they came up on my porch and got some stuff. We couldn't really tell what it was. They were like something, a pillow and some other things. And then we didn't see them, but until I went out to the coop the next day to let the chickens out. And guess what? Their pillow and blanket was in the back of the coop. So they went back in there and slept, apparently. I don't know. It was, it's kind of spooky when you think about it, that, people will just, they don't care if it's yours or that you worked hard to earn it or do anything. They want it and they're going to take it. They don't give a shit about your rights.
If nobody's here for it, right?
No, that's right. But this next story is kind of scary and sad to me because this is happening in every single town. I went to the closest little town where I live right now. And there's a Starbucks on the corner and there was like 6 women wearing hijabs. Which is fine. I mean, they can have whatever religion they want.
Jobs. Oh, hijab. I'm sorry.
But when we start catering to them and giving them rights over other religions, then I think that's not a good thing.
No.
So I wanted to share this video, and this is in Florida. Okay. It says that while Islamic nations criminalize public Christian or Jewish worship, the U.S. is embedding Sharia infrastructure into our public spaces, and red states are falling for it. And this is in Florida, but it's also growing hugely in Texas. So I'm sure if you looked around and paid a little more attention, you would start noticing.
The link I did from Facebook earlier about the Epic City.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, but here you go. I'm going to show this with you. This is a person that's showing you how happy they are that they got this put in for them. So watch. At the airport.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I'm in Terminal C of Orlando International Airport. Everybody through this. So you walk in here, keep going straight. This is the sister's entrance. So it says women prayer room. So you want to go to the brother's entrance. Just keep going down. Keep going down. And then this one is for brothers. This is very beautiful. SubhanAllah. Allah reward these people who did this for us. So you come in here. Let me show you the wudu area. There's a place for you to leave your luggage. And then you come over here. Very beautiful wudu area. Look at this. Nice. See that?
So they
You
can
press. The water comes down. Towel and everything. Sit down here, take off your shoes. And this is the brothers' salah area. You can pray your salah, open the door, and you pray. They have the sign for the Qibla. Look at that. On the floor. See? And the sisters is over there, the first room that I did. So subhanAllah, if you're in Terminal C at Orlando International, hey, God miss your salah. Assalamu alaikum. May Allah reward these people.
Okay. The one thing that when I shared this on my timeline, I said, so what happens when the women go in there and try to pray where the men pray? What happens to the women?
Isn't that segregated? They have a women's serenity, don't they?
Yeah, but what if a woman, a regular woman that's a Christian that goes back there and she goes into the men's area and
There's
starts
a
to pray?
women's restroom for a reason, isn't there?
No, that's not a restroom. That is a place you sit and you wash your feet. That is not a bathroom.
Oh.
You put your stuff in the cabinets, and then there's chairs to sit right there. Benches, you take your shoes off, go in there and wash your feet and be ready to pray. Okay, that's that. None of that is nothing in there is where people undress or anything like that. You would never have that anyways. It shouldn't, in a church place.
Okay, go ahead.
So, and then I said, what if a woman goes in and she goes into the right instead to the left, and she's in there, and one of those men see her, and they start beating her or whatever else. And she, what happens then? I mean, you see what I mean? Is Sharia law going to be allowed there simply because it's a praying area for someone who might be a Muslim?
No.
or will they get away with beating women in there? That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, I hope not. But I can tell you right now, I was with someone, and we were taking trash cans down, and one of their kids was little. I think he was like 5 or 6 at the time. And the neighbor was taking their trash out, and he's wearing the whole garb and everything, right? And he said hello to the gentleman, and he was didn't acknowledge me at all, like I didn't exist. And he bowed his head and was talking to him, and the little boy ran up and grabbed his hand and said, "Hello, nice to meet you." And the guy slapped him, almost knocked him to the ground. You know why? He said he touched his unclean hand. And I was like, call the cops. I said, that's the first thing I said. It's call 911. He just assaulted a child right in front of me, and I want to press charges. And he was like, no, I'm not going to. No, I'm not going to do that. And I was like, I started calling this guy everything in the book. And the guy was looking at me like he wanted to kill me. And I was like, come on, motherfucker. I'll fight you. I ain't no child. That's what I said to him. And they dragged me in the house. See, I don't put up with that shit. And that was in California, outside of a military base near Marysville. I was pissed about it.
It's just incompatible with Western civilization. I mean, that's the main takeaway.
This country has freedom of religion. So if I don't practice what they preach, do they have the right to teach me a lesson? Because I happen to be walking through their neighborhood or wherever. It doesn't matter. It's still on
Smith
American.
& Wesson in your pocket has all the right to come out and make sure you don't get hurt.
But that person let that man slap their child almost to the ground for shaking his hand, and they did nothing. That's what I'm talking about. That's the problem.
It is a problem because they look like people. They're not people.
Turn their cheek the other way and just act like, oh well, that I just won't let that happen again. Well, you already let it happen. And that child has to understand that his parent didn't defend him. See, to me, that's just disgusting. There's no freaking way I would have let them put their hands on my child. No way. I think that kind of shit's bullshit. And I'm a Christian. I don't think my God would be happy with me if I didn't defend a child from a grown man. I just thought it was bullshit. I'm telling you, if they ever try to take me over, I'll be one of the first ones they kill, because there's no way I will ever bend down on one knee to any of these people. I just won't do it. I won't do it. So I just wanted you guys to see that, because this is in a red state. This is not in Michigan or New York or California. This is in Florida, and there's going to be others. So the sad truth is, everybody keeps saying, oh, I live in a red state. It's a red state. That will never happen. That will never happen. What's happening? Your schools are being taken over by liberals that want to read about whatever to your kindergartners and stuff like that. And you're too busy working 3 jobs to pay all your bills that you're missing out on what they're doing. These people that are getting voted into these cities, because every city, just go to any city in your state and find out whether it's blue or it's red. Because the rural areas tend to be more red, but there's fewer people. That means fewer voters. So, and when they redistrict every time, and they count the census and they add all the people that shouldn't even be there, they get more seats. That's how it works. That's why they wanted more people. Because right now, people left California and they lost seats in their house in California. So it works. By deporting these people, it's hurting them. And when they have to do the counts again, and this whole thing that's about to come up with the census, Trump and I can't remember the gentleman's name that's in charge of that stuff, he is going to use the Postal Service to do the census, because they already go to every house.
Mm-hmm.
and there's no reason to hire people just to do the census. So, which is great. And that was one of the things I asked, and then I never got an answer for it, but I was in Louisiana at the time. We were doing some kind of canvassing where we had clipboards, and we were like, and we went to like schools. They did them in auditoriums and things like that. And we would just get people to fill out these forms about where they live, how many people lived in their house. And it wasn't really a census. It was just trying to get an idea of if they had enough facilities, if they had enough outdoor bathrooms, different things like that, enough sidewalks. There was weird questions like that. So that's what we were doing. We were doing like a survey or whatever. And I don't remember even what the totals were, but when you don't know what's going on because you're not involved in any of these things, you don't know about any of this. Like this being built, I bet most people, 90% of people in Florida don't know anything about it because somebody high up that has to do with airports and how many people come in and stuff, somebody went to them and said, we need a place to pray. And, but do they have a chapel in there for Christians? Do they have one for all the other different religions? See, I don't have a problem with them having this if all the other religions have their own place to go too. See what I mean? Mm-hmm. To me, if the taxpayers are paying for it, there should be one for each religion, not just one. So that's one thing that I bookmarked that I'm going to try to find out, if I can find out, what other, in this airport, what other religious places do they have, chapels sitting in aside or whatever, so people can go in and pray. Because I know in hospitals, they have a couple of different chapels, and they have different stuff they can put in it. Like if a family's in there, because let's say that you have a family that's got cancer, a family member, and you got people coming to see it and they're Jewish. So they'll put more stuff in it to fit the Jewish religion for the people to go back and forth and pray. And then they'll change it a little bit for this religion, things like that. Because I have seen them do that when they have a good chaplain and people that work in the hospital in that area. But this, I don't know. Most religions aren't made to wash their feet and do all these different things when they pray and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I'm just interested. And I'd like to find out whether or not what would happen if, a woman is caught in the man's area. It's going to be, I just want to see what happens. But we will find out sooner or later, I'm sure, if we just keep an eye on it. All right, we'll go to the next thing that I had pulled up that I thought was interesting. So we'll see what you guys think about this one. I think this is the next one. Is this it? Oh, so bad at these. Here it is. Okay. All right. It says, Bondi says federal agents at scene of explosion at the LA Sheriff's Training Facility. Did any of you guys hear about that today?
Mm-mm.
There was an explosion and three people were I think, police officers or sheriffs members. When I first heard about it, I thought that maybe someone snuck in and put a bomb in one of the vehicles. So when they went and opened it, it exploded. But I still haven't heard any new stuff on it yet. But I've been really busy, so I haven't been caught up. But this was interesting. Here we go. Oops. Come on. It won't let me push play. I wonder why. That's weird. It's not doing anything.
You're watching CBS News 24/7 breaking news. We're watching Southern California developments right now. An explosion that reportedly took the lives of 3 sheriff's deputies. And the latest right now from Attorney General Pam Bondi. She posted this on social media about that explosion at a sheriff's training facility in Los Angeles, confirming at least 3 law enforcement deputies killed. We know federal agents are on scene. They are investigating right now. Let's go to coverage from CBS News Los Angeles.
That the sheriff's department is actively working this, but knowing that 3 LA County sheriff's deputies died this morning in this explosion. So just a lot going on here. We're working to get more information on where exactly the facility is in relation to the front of the complex and where we are right now. But I can tell you we're not too far from it. And some people here did hear an explosion this morning. But the road closed here as they're not letting anyone up right now.
Yeah, it's interesting, Rick. We also have another view a little bit closer to the facility where we've been seeing cars leaving, clearly evacuating if they're not essential, it seems, to this investigation. Are you still seeing a steady flow of cars passing where you are?
Yeah, we are. We're seeing every so often, we're seeing a few more cars come out of the facility coming, again, it's to the north of us. So driving south here on Eastern Avenue. And for anybody who has not been up there, again, this is a very large complex and it's quite a bit off of the road. So, and up at the top of the hill. So it takes a bit to get there. So that's telling when you see that they're trying to get people away from there. They're keeping us this far back. Even though if we were up much closer, it's still quite a ways off the road to get into that complex to where this incident happened this morning.
Yeah, and we see more people gathering around you. I'm sure people in the neighborhood are just, many of them, as you said earlier, heard that explosion. Tell us more about people who are telling you about what they heard.
Yeah, I was talking to a few people who were here at the business. They said some of their coworkers inside were able to hear some sort of blast this morning, that it wasn't terribly loud. But again, they're inside these buildings. So for some of them, if there's noise inside work, they can't necessarily hear it, but they can also, that's again, telling how loud it has been for some of these workers, that they heard something, even though they were inside their office building at a considerable distance away from where this happened. That complex, I want to point out again, on a hilltop. So all of us, we are down from where that area is.
We appreciate your insight. We'll check back in with you in just a bit. We are getting reaction from local officials. LA County Supervisor Catherine Barger just issued the following statement on this tragedy. She says, quote, "I am heartbroken to hear of the terrible tragedy that has unfolded today at an LA County Sheriff's Department facility. I'm closely tracking the situation as we learn more about what occurred and the condition of those affected." And then we have another continued statement from Supervisor Barger saying, "My heart is heavy and my thoughts are with the brave men and women of the Sheriff's Department during this difficult time. We stand with them and their families as they navigate the hours and days ahead."
And Supervisor Hilda Solis is just releasing this statement saying, quote, "I am deeply saddened by the tragic incident that occurred this morning at the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department in the training facility in East Los Angeles. My heart goes out to the families, friends, and colleagues of the 3 individuals who lost their lives in what appears to have been a devastating explosion." I do think about, I think about Catherine Barger, who's been through the fires, has been at the forefront of a lot of the ICE raids that have happened in her district. And now to have this type of situation unfolding, just such a tragedy of these 3 law enforcement officers. Sheriff Robert Luna, just last night, discussing some of the Department of Justice and the turmoil going on within the department of being asked for certain documents and that type of thing, his focus being there for that, to now have to turn his attention to this right now. It's just been a lot for the county.
And just a chaotic morning. There's still so many questions here about exactly what happened, if the facility is safe for those who are still there. Of course, this investigation continues, and we know that 3 deputies were killed. But as Rick Monson has said, he's still seeing people evacuate from this area. I'm sure there's so much fear for people who are nearby, whether they are at threat, which we haven't gotten an official word from the sheriff's office of what they want people in the area to do. But as we've heard from Rick, a lot of people nearby did hear that explosion to varying levels of intensity, depending on where they were.
Well, I'm going to pause it now. The thing is, I haven't heard anything else about it. So if there's anybody in the chat that knows any more, because basically that's all they're talking about now, is because they already, told us everything that they know.
All of the updates I see on this are from 6 hours ago.
Yeah, see, there's nothing.
The Washington Hispanic.
Mm-hmm.
The Washington Hispanic says, well, shit, everything's in Spanish. So, fuck. Wait, I can flop this over. Try again. Okay. So 3 officers died. It happened at 7:30 this morning at the Special Operations Department, HQ. The house is an explosives and arson unit with 3 fatal victims who had 19, 22, and 33 years experience belonged to. 19 years was the youngest person experience. So
yeah.
She was at least 37. 37, potentially 40, and 51 years old if they just joined up at the age 18.
Yeah.
The varying amounts. They still don't know what caused the explosion, and so investigation is going on there right now. The explosion occurred when the officers were transporting a device that was recovered during a bomb alert. Take that.
So then it's some kind of bomb that went off.
Yeah.
Because everybody said they heard the explosion. So that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that it was at a training facility and that someone went in there and planted a bomb in one of the vehicles. And then when somebody opened the door or something, that's when it went off and killed 3 people.
Everything I've seen so far says they had gone to a bomb incident and they were transporting the device, and that's what happened.
Okay, well, whoever planted that bomb killed 3 cops because, they can still charge the person who made that bomb because they had to remove it from
7:30 this morning Western time.
Yeah, that's terrible. I feel really bad.
Tomorrow night out of time at 7:30, 9:30 Central Standard, 10:30 Eastern.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I hope that they find out who did it, and I feel sorry for all the families for the loss of these 3 police officers. So just wanted to share that because I heard that this morning and I thought, wow, it's terrible. We just cannot seem to get a break when it comes to our law enforcement. But this is another thing that I thought was pretty interesting. I think it's, I don't know which one it is. It's 24. It's not that one. I think it's this one. Here we go. All right. This is it says President Trump is willing to declassify 3 key documents related to the Hillary Clinton for out in front of a grand jury. So here we go. I'm going to play the video real quick. This is one of the videos.
Something that could give the American people answers on 3 different elections, 2016, 2020, and 2024. But to get that rolling, there are 2 sets of documents that are key to identifying possible conspiracy. But a grand jury can't see them unless you declassify them. Would you declassify the classified annex in the Hillary Clinton email case, as Senator Grassley has been asking?
Well, I would do that. Absolutely. I think it should be looked at. The whole thing was a scam.
Yeah.
And I would do that gladly.
Great. And there's one other one I want to mention. In the Durham report, they talk about the Clinton Plan Intelligence, the intercept where Hillary Clinton approves hanging that Russian shingle on your campaign house. That's another one that hasn't yet been declassified. Was that another one you'd consider declassifying?
I would declassify it. Yeah, why not? I would absolutely declassify it. And I will say this, the Durham report was preceded by the Horowitz report.
That's
and
right.
Bill Barr should have used the Horowitz report. You didn't need the Durham report because
That's right.
Say what you want about Mr. Horowitz. So he was appointed by Democrats, but he wrote the most vicious and true report that you've ever seen on somebody, and that was on James Comey.
Yep.
And I believe, a couple of the people in the FBI that were crooked. But this report was so big, and then go back and check, even the New York Times wrote a violent editorial about Comey based on this report.
Yep.
And for some reason, Bill Barr didn't use it. It's such a disappointment, but he didn't use it. But that was one of the big things, and it got very little press. I think it was approximately 28 pages of corruption.
Yeah.
Absolute corruption.
You're right.
And that should have been used. Well, instead, Barr wanted to do a further report.
Yeah.
So he put Durham in charge, and, Durham took years. I mean, it took so many years. I think it was just a tapping. I think you ought to look at that, too. Why did they tap it along? They tapped it along forever. Do you remember how long it took for Durham to come out with his report?
23.
By the time he came out with a report, everybody was old and looking to retire.
Yeah.
Terrible. But the thing is, this is one reason I wanted to play this, because the earlier thing I played about Hillary Clinton's emails, see, everything has to be done one step at a time, this, that, and the other. They get the stuff, then you got to have another person that opens this up or declassifies this or whatever, so that you can build a case. Okay. And that's the only way to build a case, is you got to have actual evidence to do it. And you actually have to have decent judges and lawyers. So until we can clean house and get rid of some of the bullshit that we have, it's going to be hard, to see any of these people prosecuted. It doesn't matter whether they're child molesters, traffickers of, other adults or whatever else, or trafficking drugs, or anything. It doesn't matter what they're doing. If you have crooked and corrupt judges, everybody's going to get a slap on the wrist. Because they know who butters their bread. You know what I'm saying? So it's just bullshit. Were you going to say something?
Nope.
Okay. So, he says he sent me something. Hold on, let me read this. Sent you more info about the newly declassified Russiagate documents you shared a video about earlier. Okay, thank you. I'll have to go check that out.
Thank you, Hardwick.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. He's always sending some really good stuff and posting good stuff too in my Discord. I really appreciate it. But yeah, it's all of this is just, it's opening up. Okay. Finally, the people like me that's believed a lot of this stuff way back when, because nothing made sense about how half of this shit was coming out, and it was all one-sided. I mean, I don't know how anybody can think that anything that's one-sided and doesn't have good and bad, you know what I mean, is good for us. It's good for the overall country, because it isn't. It has to be fair, and it has to be even for everyone. I mean, the laws have to pertain to every single person, or that's not freedom. So I just thought that was, I'm going to get rid of that now. I just wanted you guys to see that, because it went with that video I did earlier. I think I said that already. All right. Let's pick another one that I pulled up. Let's see, is this one?
Earlier, you were talking about the guy that stuffed his socks. That was Sandy Berger.
Yeah, Sandy Berger. That's it. He stuffed stuff down his pants. He was trying to sneak out documents.
Yep. So,
and was it dealing with the Whitewater case or something?
It's been a while.
Yeah, see, and that's one of the things that
everything for the 9/11 Commission stuff.
Oh yeah, see, that's why so many people believe that there's so much conspiracy stuff behind that, because it wasn't even the two buildings that went down; it was the other building. They were hauling shit out of there, during all the other stuff that was going on. So I don't know. It's like that one, the Die Hard movie, remember? And they're stealing some kind of money, so some kind of certificates of money, while they're doing all this other stuff to make people think that it's some other kind of terrorist act, when it's really them just stealing, basically. So basically is what I believe. I do believe that planes did hit the building. Okay. I do believe that. Why? I don't know.
Except for the Pentagon.
Yeah. And well, maybe not that. I didn't get to see that very good. But the thing is that they were stealing something. I just don't know what it was. And maybe, hopefully one day someone will be punished for it, or we'll get the truth out of it. But it's sad that we are in such, got so much corruption. It's disgusting. But this right here, I thought.
Fix it. We can fix the corruption.
Yeah. Get rid of it. Clean house.
Start figuring out where the money's coming from and go from there.
Yeah. But that's what we've been doing, cutting off the money supply. Just like it was somebody, I think it was my friend American, he said in a space, he said, you had all these riots going on, right? In Spokane, not Spokane, but in Oregon, all those riots. And then he said, as soon as the money stopped, the riot stopped. So when the people were getting paid to go out there and protest and riot and throw rocks and do it, nobody showed up because they weren't getting their check. So this is about John Brennan. I thought you guys might want to listen to this. It's another one.
Did you find direct evidence of collusion between the Trump campaign and Putin in Moscow while you were there?
Mr. Rooney, I never was an FBI agent. I never was a prosecutor, so I really don't do evidence. I do intelligence throughout the course of my career. As an intelligence professional, what we try to do is to make sure that we provide all relevant information to the Bureau if there is an investigation underway that they are looking into criminal activity. As I mentioned in my opening statement, I was convinced in the summer that the Russians were trying to interfere in the election. And they were very aggressive. It was a multifaceted effort. And I wanted to make sure that we were able to expose as much of that as possible.
But was there intelligence that said that the Trump campaign was colluding with Moscow during their campaign?
There was intelligence that the Russian intelligence services were actively involved in this effort.
Did evidence exist of collusion, coordination, conspiracy between the Trump campaign and Russian state actors at the time you learned of 2016 efforts?
I encountered and am aware of information and intelligence that revealed contacts and interactions between Russian officials and U.S. persons involved.
Look at his hands. Look at he's fidgeting with one of those little clamper deals.
Mm-hmm.
And his hands are shaking. Watch this.
In the Trump campaign that I was concerned about because of known Russian efforts to support the.
He's what?
He's a Muslim. You can't trust him.
Yeah, but I'm telling you.
If it conflicts against anything he's got going on with his religion, or if he stands to gain by being deceitful, he's supposed to be deceitful.
Yeah, I know. That's what their religion says. And it says you can lie to the infidels because it's not really lying.
I'd just like to see him get punched in the face until, there's a big red pulpy shit left. That's
all I know is if he went against the Constitution and he did something against the people, then he should be punished. And if that's truthful, then it means it really is treason.
He's just a piece of shit. And it's it's easy to see why he was picked by fucking Barry Soetoro, a half-white cracker piece of shit president.
Yeah, and the thing is that I'm not saying they're all being blackmailed because some of these people are just sick. You know what I mean? They hate someone enough, or they want money bad enough, they'll take money, and not because they're being blackmailed, but just because they want money. They want it. They're greedy. They want a better position, or they want more prestige, or they want to be invited over to the Obama's house, or whatever it is. A lot of these people do it because they want to, not because they're forced to do it. And a lot of people need to realize there's a lot of narcissists in the world that all they care about is their needs. And they'll do lots of terrible, nasty things to get what they want. And this is one of them right here.
Such individuals. And it raised questions in my mind, again, whether or not the Russians were able to gain the cooperation of those individuals. I don't know whether or not such collusion, that's your term, such collusion existed. I don't know.
I bet you, though, when he gets put on fire, his bones pop.
The storm is coming. That's what this woman made this video. I really liked it because that's basically what's about to hit. It is going to storm, and some of these people are going to go down. It may not be all of them, but I want to see at least some of them get what they deserve, because we would. If our little group, our fellowship, or whatever you want to call it, did anything like this, we'd all be sitting in prison, grabbing our ankles, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So I would love it. I'm gonna enjoy watching these trials and seeing these people, if they even do it, because I keep being told that it's going to be televised stuff. I don't think they televise federal stuff, do they?
It'd be a new thing. It would be something new for the age, I'll say that much. So we don't even know how they treat it.
Yeah, because I think Diddy was a federal case, and they didn't have it live. And I've seen a couple other ones, and they weren't live. You had to be in the court.
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
That would be great. But as far as I could tell, I don't think it would be. And I was told too by someone in the military that said that if they did try people at the government level for treason and things like that, they would be done in a military court. So is that true? I mean, I don't know.
Brennan, probably.
So we'd have to wait and see. But man, it's going to be exciting, I think. But this is another video that I enjoy watching because I've been trying to watch as many of them as I can with J.D. Vance speaking and talking about certain things that are going on. And the more I watch him, the more I realize that, yeah, if he keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to be the next person.
You mean you're talking about President 48?
Yeah, I'm thinking about the next person that's going to be president of the United States. If he keeps doing what he's doing, because so far I've been very impressed with him. It's for someone I didn't know.
And we're just getting started, my friends. The passage of the big, beautiful bill. Now, of course, the mainstream media, the corporate press doesn't like what we accomplished. It doesn't like what we did. But let me just talk a little bit about what this bill, about what this legislation means for you and your family. And there are a few different things, a few different ways in which I think this will be transformational for the American people. You heard Kelly talk about this a little bit. How many, Don, of your 36 employees are putting in a lot of overtime every single week? I bet a lot of them are. You told me you got projects coming in so fast, they're struggling to get people in to do all the jobs that are necessary. Well, now, thanks to President Trump's leadership, if you work overtime, the federal government is not going to take a dime of that overtime. You earn that money. You ought to keep it in your pocket. And we're just getting started, my friends. The passage of the big, beautiful bill. Now, of course, the mainstream media, the corporate press doesn't like what we accomplished. It doesn't like what we did. But let me just talk a little bit about what this bill, about what this legislation means for you and your family. And there are a few different things, a few different ways in which I think this will be transformational for the American people. You heard Kelly talk about this a little bit. How many, Don, of your 36 employees are putting in a lot of overtime every single week? I bet a lot of them are. You told me you got projects coming in so fast, they're struggling to get people in to do all the jobs that are necessary. Well, now, thanks to President Trump's leadership, if you work overtime, the federal government is not going to take a dime of that overtime. You earn that money. You ought to keep it in your pocket. And
I think it's great. So I think it's great. He's being a cheerleader. He's supporting the president. And that's what the vice president is supposed to do. Be ready to step in the president's shoes if something was to happen. And we have to believe that he wants the same things as the president that we have in there right now. And as long as he keeps doing what he's doing right, like that kind of stuff, and some of the other things that I've watched him do with his family, he goes places with his wife and his kids. And it makes me feel good to know that I really think that he believes in the same things. He wants the same things for the country, and that he's very supportive. And the few times I've gotten to see him in the White House, in the Oval Office with Trump, with other people, doing interviews and things like that. So I don't know, little things like that to me are important to make me build trust. And right now, a lot of people are not liking a lot of the things that Trump's doing. I can't say that he should tell everyone every detail of everything he's doing, because we don't know. We don't have the information that Trump is getting on a daily basis when it comes to intel and whatever else that's going on. All this stuff that we're seeing unfold in the billions and billions and trillions of dollars of waste that's been going on, that's pissing off a lot of people, because we're taking the money away from the criminals and putting it back into the bank that belongs to us. And remember, I heard J.D. Vance make a comment about he thinks that maybe and Elon, that they should write checks and give it back to the people. So I don't know what their plans are if we have a surplus, and for the first time ever, that I can ever remember, because I don't remember us ever not being in debt. I don't think anybody else does. I don't think there's anybody alive, whenever we were not in debt, trillions of dollars or whatever. But it's going to be nice if we can just get the debt paid down. I mean, how long has it been since we've had the debt paid down? Do you know, Bruce?
It's been a while. Decades.
So, yeah, it's been a long time. Not that I remember. But yeah, I have another one more thing. That one thing that you asked me to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the about the couple or whatever, this thing. Mm-hmm. So do you want to talk about this one? I'll let you
Not really at length, but I mean, Coldplay, they're a really crappy pop rock band, and they are not original because they steal music. Joe Satriani sued him for that,
mm-hmm.
and he made money off them. But they were playing their crappy music, and so some astronomy company CEO took his human resource director to the Coldplay concert. And on the Kiss Cam, everybody gets to see those two. And just in the past 2 hours, the wife's response has made it to the interwebs. The internet is undefeated.
What is she saying?
I don't know. I didn't click that video. This is like, those things that the people you can't stand, you hate saying their name.
Yeah.
The Coldplay is that for me, because I've never liked Coldplay. They just always were a shit band. And in 2004, when they stole "If I Could Fly" by Joe Satriani, and they made their crappy song, and then Satriani took them to court and sued their ass for it because they deserved it for being unimaginative cunts. And this happens like 15 years later.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to talk about Coldplay. I'd rather talk about the hemorrhoid on my ass. Or I'd rather talk about a pap smear.
Well, the thing is, it just happened to be a Coldplay concert, but what they're talking about, it says the board is the astronomers board, is launching investigation after its CEO appeared to be filmed embracing his HR head at the concert. The video clip went viral on social media, propelling the tech company into the spotlight. And it says they will have additional details later, but this is terrible. I mean, I feel sorry for the wife and the family of this guy or her, because they're caught.
His wife was pretty hot.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
he's
say,
got a beautiful wife and beautiful kids, but yet this is now. What's going to be really good about all of this is look what evidence she has to take to court. When she can say, I deserve alimony, I deserve child support, and I deserve defamation. I have been humiliated publicly, and I need restitution for it. So I hope she breaks him over the coals for this. And this woman, I don't know if she's married, and if she has a family, but if she does, she shouldn't get shit. And then they'll be happy together, because I guarantee they won't stay together. Because once a cheater, usually always a cheater. That's just the way it is, Because if you'll cheat on somebody you swear that you love and have babies with, and you want to spend the rest of your life with, then you'll cheat on anybody. You even cheating on yourself if you think that you're going to get a decent person by cheating that's not going to cheat on you. I mean, it's just all stupid. I wouldn't want to cheat her. Just like I brought up many times about that woman that slept with hundreds and hundreds of guys in 24 hours. And I'm like, any guy that would want to poke her after hundreds of guys have poked her is not a person I would ever want to ever touch me or even be in the same room with me. So I don't know how any woman would find any of those men attractive and want to be with them. So, and I feel sorry for them if that's all they have available to them. So I think it's disgusting. And that's part of the downfall of our country, is this kind of disgusting people. It's just disgusting. I mean, I go into this a couple. Well, basically, it's one space, a certain space that I go to every so often with a bunch of funny people that are fun to listen to and talk to, and every so often this dweeby, disgusting person comes in there, and he constantly just says derogatory stuff to me, and he always calls my name out and says the same nasty, derogatory stuff. And there's basically one person, if they're in there, that defends me. I have to defend myself, which is fine, but they just laugh and think it's funny, like it's kindergarten or 5th grade or something. And it's disgusting that is the people, and that they think that kind of stuff is entertaining. They're probably just having a great old time thinking, oh, I wish I was that guy. He's famous. He's got his 15 minutes of fame, instead of thinking, what a disgusting piece of shit both of these people are, and they got caught publicly, which is great. I'm glad that they're out, and hopefully people know that if you'll cheat and lie to the person that you share vows with, then more than likely you're not going to take good care of this company and not lie on paperwork or phone calls or whatever else, emails. You're not trustworthy. These are not trustworthy people. I wouldn't trust them with any of my finances or anything I had if they cheat on each other. So I don't trust cheaters.
I'm ashamed that adults would actually pay money for that concert, but
well, that too. I don't know. I don't really listen to them, and I've never gone to see them in concert. So
I'd rather break a radio than listen to it.
They must be pretty bad. You have to. I'll have to listen to the song to find out.
To me, they just make noise. They make garbage music. I don't listen to fucking top 40 garbage.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm in public and some jackass has his miserable music playing out of his phone, as like so many people have nowadays, that's why I carry around my fucking earbuds all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear your shit. Let me put in some Dean Martin or fucking, something good. And that way it'll retain my happy fucking self. That way I can get through being in public and make that a limited time deal. I can get home and do what I want to. Because if I start listening to Viking metal, then I'm just like taking my shopping cart and crashing through the slow fucks at Walmart.
Yeah.
You don't want me to do that. So I just, I fucking hate being in public. And then this is just another reminder that we have failed. Every day we get further from God's light. Why? Because we like music like this. But this is like, I expect this type of behavior. I expect this. This is just something that would have happened on a normal Friday night. Right now, your boss or somebody that you thought was going to take their vows and their marriage seriously is out and about with a stripper or a hooker or some girl he met on Backpage, or some girl gave him a 2-second glance and now they're fucking. And his marriage vows, her promises she kept to her baby daddy, those are pretty much like toilet paper. Anyway, whatever it is, I can't believe this is a story and we're still talking about it for 12 hours after I first saw it on X. It fucking blew up.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have viral stuff. It blows up. But I want to share something, another article that I got from Hardwiki. So give me a second. I'm going to bring it up here. It's some more information right here. It's this whole thing about Russia did not impact U.S. election results. And it says hours later, FBI withdraws support. It says PDB is killed based on new guidance. December 9th, 2016, Obama White House gathers top cabinet officials, including Clapper, Brennan, Susan Rice, Andrew McCabe, and others. New intelligence assessments is commissioned. January 6, 2017, new intel assessment. Russia interfered to help Trump. And there's documents and stuff. So I'm going to copy this link right here and share it in the chat so anyone else can read it and look at it. You can see it right here. I'm going to copy this and put it in the chat so you guys can see it yourselves and check it out if you're interested. Thank you, Hardwiki. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was waiting until we were done with the other stuff before I went and opened it up. But yeah, it's pathetic. All this stuff. Well, it's good. I mean, I'm glad to see that stuff is finally coming out like it should have been years ago. But it's pathetic that they just stoop this low. You know what I mean? It is. But just like everybody says, you have to have a shit ton of people involved. Okay, like we were talking about a while back about how hard it would be to cheat at a polling station. Now, if you have 10 people and you're in a little fire department in a rural area and all those 10 people are being paid to cheat, it's probably going to get away with it pretty simply, right? But when you had this stuff like that went on in Georgia and they told everybody there was a water leak, right? And everybody got up and left their post. If I had been there, because I took an oath, okay, you swear an oath to uphold the law, to do all the things that you swore that you were going to do that day. And one of the things I swore was I wasn't going to let those ballots out of my sight. Okay, that no one else would be able to pick up the box or do anything with some of the things that we had in front of us on our table. So if they came to me and said, hey, there's a leak, we have to leave, I would have said, all right, everybody get their stuff. Get the books, we have to take the signatures in, get the ballots, get, everything. The other ballots that we're going to pass out to people so that the next person that comes through and fills out the stuff, we have another ballot that's numbered to give to them. Well, I'm not supposed to let them out of my sight. This is all the ballots we have, and they have to match. At the end of the night, we have to have exactly how many ballots that we were given that morning. Okay, either counted ballots that haven't been used, or ballots that are already in the ballot box that we're going to count at the end of the evening, all that stuff. And you sign papers with your name on it, which means if I get caught taking those home with me or anything, I could go to prison. That's what it means, because that's what you're supposed to do. I wouldn't have got up and left without taking my stuff. And they probably would have had to arrest me, but they wouldn't have, because I would have made a stink, and they probably wouldn't have got away with cheating because I wouldn't have left. But the fact that all those people in that Georgia thing just got up and walked out, that's shows us how bad off we are when it comes to getting real people that care about ballots and things like that, or they weren't trained. They weren't told what they were supposed to do or what was expected of them. So you can't have fair elections if people don't understand what you're doing sitting at that table. You know what I mean? To make sure that only one ballot goes to each person, and that their signature has to match the signature in the book, and that they have to have the documents that we ask for, either whatever it is in your state. And if they don't have those things, then they don't get one. And if you have a problem, guess what? You raise your hand and a judge comes over. Okay. And he says, what's the problem? We'll say, this person doesn't understand what this law means, and they don't want to vote yes or no because they don't know what they're supposed to vote, because they don't understand the way it's worded. So the judge will explain to them exactly what it means if they vote yes or if they vote no. And then they take their ballot and they go back and they vote. So, that's what you have them there for, to ask questions. And if somebody says, well, hey, this signature doesn't match, this person's signature does not match the signature on here, this is not the same person. That, and we hand everything over to the judge and we let them handle it. We only had a couple times where people had spoiled ballots, and you have to have everyone at the table has to put their initials on the spoiled ballot, the one that they already voted on, and put it in an envelope with a red seal on it. And then we put it in another box next to the ones that we count. So at the end of the night, when you count all the ballots that were voted on, and then the number of ballots that haven't been voted because we didn't give them to anyone, and then the spoiled ballots, guess what? You should have the same total you were handed that morning, instead of 100,000 more extra ones that are added to your allotment of whatever amount of ballots are on there. That's how simple it would be to catch someone who cheated. Which table cheated? Which table in this auditorium put in 100,000 extra ballots? You see what I mean? Because then you would know this table didn't cheat because they have exactly what they started with at the end of the night. And what about that one over there? How many did they have? See, that it would be easy to catch a person cheating and they wouldn't be able to do it in front of 100 of people if it's a big stadium. Now, in a smaller place, they'd get away with it. But see, until people volunteer to go work the polls, they're not going to understand how it works. And people are going to keep getting away with cheating until more people understand. And you know what? I really believe that if we could fix it to where a college town, that if the college students that are going to be in political science or whatever else, one of their courses would have to say, well, you have to run an election. You have to go and work the polls, or work this, that, or the other, depending on what's going on at the time that they're in school, and get credits for doing it. So we have more and more people that actually understand how certain things work in different states on the laws that pertain to voting. Little things like that. So many people I talk to, and they're like, I've never worked the polls. I've never served jury duty. And if you want out of jury duty, I can tell you how to do it. It's sad. People don't want to do this stuff, and they don't care how it works. But until they feel like they got cheated, like if it's your ass sitting up there on the stand and you're hoping that you have 12 jurors that are actually give a shit whether or not that they're looking at true evidence or not against you. And, I hope that you never, if you skirted your duty when you were sent a letter just because you didn't want to serve jury duty, I hope you were never on that hot seat, because, karma sucks. That's all I can say about that. But let's see. It says, remember how they threw Tina Peters in prison here in Colorado? I don't know who she is. Do you know who Tina Peters is?
No idea.
Is she the woman that was trying to blow the whistle on the whole cheating that was going on in the state of Colorado? Because they also did, and the same shit was happening in Arizona. So, that's what I'm saying. If you have enough people that are corrupt, you can get away with cheating, because too many people are getting paid off and they don't care whether or not their elections are good or not.
What do you think about this? Just came across my desk. Mm-hmm. What do you think about Tristan Rogers? He's on General Hospital.
I don't really know him. Who is it?
He's just an actor. He's an actor at the age of 79. He got diagnosed with cancer.
Mm-hmm. It's terrible.
So, yeah.
No, I didn't watch General Hospital. I really didn't watch soap operas. I think my mom liked, I'm trying to remember the name of it, Days of Our Lives. That was the soap opera that I remember my mom and my grandmother watching. So I never really, watched stuff like that. I mean, honestly, shows like 6 Feet Under and all that, the nighttime shows were basically soap operas, the same type of crap that you had during the day. It was just, they were cheaper made in the afternoon because it was for moms that had a bunch of kids hanging on their leg and stuff like that. Instead of a nighttime show, we had men and women both watching it. So they had to spend a little more money to grab your attention. It had to be a little more dramatic because more adult stuff in it or whatever. So, more movie quality, I guess you could say. But, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But it says Tina was the politician that gave access to voting machines. Wasn't it? I don't know. I can't remember the names of those people, because, what's really sad is when it's not in your state, a lot of people don't tend to remember all the names.
She discovered 574 uncounted ballots from November 2019.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
And she's got 9 years behind bars for voting data.
Because she tried to show that, hey, I found
done something like it. She's got 9 years for a data breach scheme spawned from the rampant false claims about voting machine fraud in 2020 presidential race.
Mm-hmm.
And so Matthew Barrett, he's a judge in that district.
Oh, is she one of the people that Trump pardoned or
I have
not?
no idea. It would tell me that at the end of the article. She sparred with a judge because discredited claims about rigged voting machines,
Mm-hmm.
and she never took her job seriously. And the judge tells her, "I'm convinced you would do this all over again if you could. You're as defiant as any other defendant this court's ever seen." Barrett told her in hanging down the sentence, "You're nobody, that you're not a hero. You abused your position, and you're a charlatan."
That's
So,
terrible, isn't it? See, that's what I said. That's why I was trying to explain to people about this whole thing with Epstein cases, Diddy case, or any of these cases. When you have a really big case and you have a corrupt judge, okay, how are you supposed to get justice for the people that were victims of whoever it is that's on trial if the judge is paid off to make sure that they get the little time as possible? See what I mean? And it's sad to think that. That's why those positions we need to be as diligent as possible to try to make sure we have the best of the best sheriffs and the best of the best judges, because it's important for the people to be treated fairly and to make sure the corrupt ones are the ones that spend as much time in jail as possible. And that if a person, see, to me, like the case that I went to because of one of my nieces that was molested, right?
mm-hmm.
And more than molested, I'll just say that. So horrible stuff happened to her, and the person knew they were probably going to get 60 years if they went before a jury. So they pled. They had a plea deal for 20. Okay. Why is it if a person pleads for 20 years because they don't want 60, that after 5 they get to go up and beg for their life to get out of prison? And then the victims have to come back and beg you to keep them in there for what they did to them. That's disgusting. If a jury or a judge gives them 20 years, that's what they should get. Period. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. To give someone the death penalty because they took someone's life for joy, for pleasure, for whatever reason, and they're given life in prison, and then you find out that they got out early after 20 years. 20 years is not life. You know, it's ridiculous that person gets to go out, have a family, have grandkids one day, do all the things that they took away from the person and the family of the person when they took someone else's life for pleasure, for fun, joy, or whatever sick reason they did it. That family will never be able to hold their child or their loved one or their grandchildren from their child that was taken from them. And this other person gets to, you know, like Ted Bundy got to have a baby with a woman while he was on death row. That's just disgusting that people are allowed to do that and get away with that stuff when they should be being punished. We're making it like it's Club Med in there, you know. They get to work out, they get to tan, they get the best food, they can smoke, they can drink, they have computer access. I mean, I heard about a group of people that were prisoners that were being able to charge stuff to people's bills. You know, I think it was the electric bill or something like that. They were using prisoners and training prisoners so they could get jobs when they got out on computer skills and stuff. And what they did was scamming people. They would add like $10 to this bill, $10 to that bill. And that's how they were paying for their cigarettes and shit in prison. I was like, you got to be kidding. Who does this shit? I don't know.
Scammers.
And sad. Yeah.
The type of low life that would steal your Discord.
Yeah, but these are people in charge that put those criminals in a position where they could have access to your phone bills and your electric bills and shit. That should never be allowed. These are criminals and they're handing over, oh, here's people's credit card numbers, here's this, blah, blah, blah. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. I don't know how these people keep getting elected, and they have no common sense whatsoever, or they know it's not their number, so they don't give a shit. See what I mean? It sucks. These people suck. You know, this is why YouTube hates me, I guess, because I just can't talk good about people in the government. Almost all of them are idiots. I mean, at least that's what it seems like. There's sure a lot of them. They have no common sense at all. There should be a school that everyone has to go to after you graduate from high school, the common sense school, where you go to school and you learn how to have common sense. You know, don't stick your finger in that because it's going to burn. Don't put your finger in that hole because you're going to get electrocuted. You know, I don't know. I just don't know what to do about it because, you know, me being dragged around with my dad to go out and hunt. And when he taught me how to fish and how to do all kinds of stuff, how to work on, you know, a weed eater, you know, how to change a tire on a car, life skills that they don't seem to teach anymore in school.
What type of transmission did you learn on?
I didn't learn on a transmission. It wasn't a car. It was a weed eater. You just pulled the thing, and we just had to take it apart, put it back together, and stuff like that.
For you to drive, you didn't have to drive anything?
No, I drove. I didn't have to do the transmission. I just I needed to know how to put gas in it and how to change the oil and how to change a tire. Okay. That's the only things my dad made us, all 5 of us girls, have to do before we could get our driver's license. And guess what? I never got stranded on the side of the road. I was driving back to New Orleans from Arkansas, and I had a blowout, but I didn't realize it was a double blowout. Something flew out. I was passing a semi, and I was in my little Kia Soul, and something flew out in front of me, and I swerved towards the median to not hit it. And I heard it hit my front tire, and it went, psh. I could hear that, you know, pop of the air coming out, and I was like, damn, I got a flat. So I slowly put my lights on and worked way back over to the right and pulled over, got out. It was like 114 outside. I had my 2 little dogs in the car, rolled the windows down, and I get out and I start to change the tire, and I get it all out and get it changed, and I'm putting the other tire back, and that's when I realized the back tire was flat too. I was like, fuck. I still had to call someone to come out there, and the guy came finally to get me, and he's like, did anybody pull over to help you? And I was like, not one person, not a single person pull over ever the whole time I sat there for like 45 minutes to help me. So Shivery's dead. At least it is in Louisiana, but oh well. But I did change one tire by myself, and he told me how proud he was of me, the guy that picked me up to take me down the road to another place where I could get a new tire. And they only had one tire. That's what was so bad that matched mine. So I got one new tire, and I still had a donut. So I couldn't go, you know, the speed limit. So it took me forever to get home. I didn't think I would ever get there. I was so thankful when I finally did get there. Because, you know, you can't drive as fast and do all, you're not supposed to when you have a donut on. But that's the way it is. But I'm done. I've showed everything that that I had to everybody. So that was quite a bit of stuff. So it was fun. I had a good time. Did you have fun?
I did. Did you show the video of Tom Homan calling the heckler a loser?
Mm-mm. No. I love Tom Homan, though. Do you have it?
It's in our shit show chat.
Okay, in the shit show chat. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to have to go find it. Do you know how far down it is?
It's 2 from the end.
2 from the end. Okay, I'm going to go there really quick. 1 second. Shit show chat. 2 from the bottom. Oh, Pam Bondi asked federal court. Oh,
nope.
now it just okay. That one, Tom Homan. It just updated. So I'm going to open this one. Okay. Oh my God, I love this man. Okay, pause. All right, here we go.
Well, it looks like that Tom Homan clip starts around second number 15. And it's only 3 minutes long, so go ahead and play all of it.
Can you see it? Oh, no, I didn't click on share, did I?
Share.
Here it is. Okay, there. Now you can see it, right? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Should I make it bigger?
You're good.
Tom Homan was speaking on Saturday night down in Tampa, Florida, at the Turning Point USA Student Action Summit. And a heckler asked him if he was an MS-13 member. This is what Tom Homan said to defend our ICE workers.
Wait 3 or 5 years. Pardon me?
Are you an MS-13 member? It says so.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay. I got a question. No. I got a question for you. Why don't you come up here and hand me that picture? Bring it. USA. They got morons like this all over the country. This guy wouldn't know it's like the surface nation. This guy ain't got the balls to be an ICE officer. He hasn't got the balls to be a Border Patrol agent. This guy lives in his mother's basement. The only thing that surprised me, you don't have purple hair and a nose ring. Get out of here, you loser.
He then later says, I'll be finished with my speech in like 13 minutes and 50 seconds. I'll meet you outside.
But also, what is he talking about? Like
the heckler?
Yeah, MS-13, Tom Homan, he's arrested hundreds of them on the street every single day. That's what this entire operation is about. This is why there's a bounty against Tom Homan from the gangs that are overseas, that are also operating here in the United States. This is why Tom Homan has to have Secret Service protection. The first border czar ever to have that. So I just don't get the whole accusation. Are you a part of MS-13?
And he had a big picture of Tom Homan's face that he was holding up. That's what he said. Come up here on the stage and give me that picture.
Again, judges are getting involved. Out in California, they have a rule that that ICE is picking up people because of the way they look and their accents. A judge, bizarrely, I didn't read the arguments, but I don't know anybody. I don't think our DOJ would say, yeah, we're just looking for people with accents. He says, no, I'm talking about distinguishing characteristics like tattoos and things to that nature. So they've appealed that decision. But right now, ICE is now limited in their operations due to another
here
judge.
Again, you got these federal judges. The Supreme Court has already, Ainsley, checked all these local judges and said, listen, you can't make sweeping rulings that affect the entire country. And yet again, you have an Obama-appointed judge that is Biden-appointed, I think, that is doing the same thing all over again.
Well, you know what I think about when this judge says Donald Trump has to halt this temporarily in California, in that area of LA and a few other counties, brought on by the ACLU. I think about, what if they get a tip that there are children working at another plant? This was the second largest state facility that has been busted under Donald Trump. The first one was in his first administration. Remember that chicken plant in Mississippi? Right. There were 700 illegals arrested. They probably got a tip about this marijuana farm. They went there to arrest the people that are here illegally, especially those criminals, and to rescue the children who are working on these farms. But I guess now they can't do that? Trump is appealing it.
Yeah, they're appealing it today. But don't you think someone tipped him off?
100%.
Yeah,
of course.
Tipped it off, right?
Yep.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart.
An argument.
Subscribe.
That's disgusting. Just think about it. You have a pot farm and you have children being forced to work on it, picking and cultivating this pot. And now we have a judge saying you can't deport these people.
Well, you just block the judge tough shit and you deport.
Disgusting. It's disgusting. You know, I hate to say this because it isn't very Christianly of me. I probably shouldn't say it. I would love to see some of these people that have done all this dumbass shit, like that judge, get some karma. You know what I mean? Get some of that back. Get some of the stuff back they've been dishing out for years on people like us, simply because we want to be treated fairly, you know? That's all. I would love to see that. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting to see people like that get what they deserve. And it's sad that, you know, because the people, my mother used to always say, well, they'll get what they deserve when they have to go before God, whatever. And I'm like, but I don't get to see it. You know, we don't, the people that have been hurt by these people don't get to see them punished. And my mom just said, well, that's why you have to have faith. And I was like, oh, faith is really hard. To have faith in something, you know, that you know you're probably never going to see. It's hard, you know, but I would love it. I would love to see America and the people in America, the hardworking people, the veterans, the police officers, all the other people that have worked hard, the ranchers, anyone else who's been dissed or lost something or didn't get the job that they wanted because an illegal got it, or any of those people. I would love to see all these judges and all these people who have put us in these positions get what they're up and comings. That's what I can't wait to see some of these people get what they deserve. And if Comey's the first one they arrest, that would be awesome. Or Hillary Clinton, any of them. You know, I just want to see people get arrested. So hopefully we'll get that.
I think you're far too nice. I don't want them to go to prison. I don't want to pay for them.
It isn't really the act of, you know, chopping their head off or hanging them, public hangings, because I've heard a couple people on both sides, Democrats and conservatives, that said anyone that has tortured children and done some of the horrible things that we know have been done to children, they deserve the death penalty. And I agree. I think anybody who does those certain crimes, there's no fixing these people. I don't care. You could put someone in a hole for, you know, 100 years or however long they lived, and they should never get out. But should the taxpayers pay $1 million a year to keep one of these people that might live another 55, 60 years in prison after what they've done to children? I mean, that one father in Colorado, I think it was in Colorado, he had a pregnant wife and he had two small daughters. I mean, like one was like 4, okay, little, and the other one was like 6 daughters. And he started sleeping with an assistant through the business that he worked for, some kind of oil business that he worked. And he killed his pregnant wife because she was pregnant with a boy that he didn't want. He didn't want her. He wanted this new woman. And then he took both his daughters after he killed his wife. He put her body in the truck, and his kids sat with their feet sitting on their dead mom, pregnant mom, on the way there. And then when they got there, he buried her in a shallow grave, you know, and rubble, whatever, on top of her the best he could, the mother. Then he took each daughter and suffocated them. And then he carried them up the ladder to the little oil thing, you know, these big tanks with the little doorway that's like 8 inches on top. And then he put each of their little bodies down in there and had to stomp on their heads to get it to go down into the hole, into the oil. And then he shut the lid and went to see his woman like they were just garbage. And now he's in a special jail. Do you know they have a prison in Colorado just for people like that? For people that kill children and do bad things to children. They have a special prison because they can't put them in these other prisons because they'll be murdered. So to keep them alive, they built a special prison for them. That's how sick our country has become. They had to build a special prison for people who do that kind of stuff to children. Just think about that. I did that one show. Remember that show? And I talked about it on our first Rumble show that we did together about the brothels. There was 4 different brothels, and they had children 10 and under in them. That's how old the kids were. And they were booked all the time. People were paying millions of dollars to have sex with all these kids 10 and under. It's sickening. We got a whole world filled with these sick people. And how are we supposed to protect ourselves and our children when we're too busy because we're having to work 3 jobs to pay our bills? It's disgusting, and they're winning big time, boy, until we can take some of these people down. And that's why I was so happy to see that one video of that guy that was so upset. You could just see his anger knowing that they'd saved 35,000 kids already, but there's many more they need to save, and that they're keeping records. They're taking down all these records and documenting everything they can, because they're going to charge all these people with criminal offenses. And I've seen it happen in court where a person will have 900,000 porn videos of torture with kids and stuff like that, and they get nothing. They don't get a day in jail. They have to pay a fine, and then they're released if they can't have their porn, and they're not supposed to go to schools or be around it. But it's disgusting. Now they can order a doll that looks just like a real human kid and buy it on the internet. How do we fix a country like that? You know what I mean? What can we actually do to not have that kind of sickening people in our existence, that are walking amongst us, looking at you and your children when you walk by, thinking about what they're going to do to your kid? It's disgusting. This makes my skin crawl to think about how many people are like that walking around, and there's nothing we can do about it besides protect your kid. That's why I said never leave your kid in a car when you run into the gas station. Oh, they're asleep or whatever. I would never do it. I wouldn't go to that gas station then.
That's all the things I really wanted to talk about.
What?
Oh, that's everything we discussed tonight. That was on my list.
Well, good. I'm glad, because I can't help it. I tend to draw. I'm drawn towards things that I want to see justice, done for. And I hate doing what everybody's talking about. If every single, like on YouTube, every single person is talking about the new Superman movie, I don't want to talk about it, because everyone else is already doing it. Let's talk about something that other people aren't talking about, because to me that's better, because at least somebody have another place they can go and talk about something different than a person that's talking about this and the same person is talking about that. They're all talking about the same thing. So I don't want to. I want to talk about things that matter, but maybe, it's a different point of view on something, or maybe it's something that nobody else is talking about. Why aren't they talking about it? That's another thing I'm always going, so, why isn't anybody talking about that? It's interesting to me. But thank you, everybody who hung out with us tonight. It says I have 122 people watching live, which is great. I mean, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. And even over on the other channels for Ruben, because he had to leave. But thank you so much, because without people like you, I mean, I wouldn't have anybody to talk to. You know what I mean? Because I spend a lot of time by myself, but and it's not good for you. Having people around is important. Especially people say if you hang around in a fishbowl with like-minded people all the time, then you don't learn anything. Well, you do learn if you're with enough people that are interested in what's going on around them. Now, if you just sit in a room and you only talk about the same thing over and over again, you don't know what's going on outside the doors. You know what I mean? Then you are in trouble. You know what I mean? You're in a cave, basically. You're not going to evolve, and you're not going to learn new things. And even if I'm not right about everything, I don't have a problem with that. I'm a human. I make mistakes, and I'll apologize for my mistakes. And I don't think that's a bad quality. It's a good quality if you know that you make mistakes. Anyone who says they don't make mistakes and they're perfect and this, that, and the other, you should not be friends with that person. That person is danger waiting to happen. But thank you, Bruce.
Not a problem, Janet. Appreciate you. And I hope you had a good time.
And make sure you plug what you're going to do tomorrow for your game.
Tomorrow about 12:30, we're going to get the gang together, and afterwards we'll start streaming the prison. The show from the Slumbering Czar. the City of Dar, the big high level campaign that seems to be getting actually some action, and the players are really enjoying that. Some of the viewers are too. If you like high level D&D games, tune in. It'll be about 7 to 8 hours of play. If you like that sort of thing. Sunday, we have a special movie reviewing, and it is a John Carpenter classic from 1981, Escape from New York, starring Kurt Russell.
And Adrienne Barbeau, is that her name? Bardot or something like that?
John would like to forget about her.
Oh, why?
That's an ex-wife.
Ex-wife?
That was his wife.
Oh, the director's ex-wife.
The director's ex-wife.
Yeah. I never understood why men thought she was so gorgeous or something. I mean, she wasn't Raquel Welch, for sure.
Her boobs.
So,
her boobs.
Boobs.
I don't like that.
I mean, lots of women have boobs. So just because you got boobs doesn't mean it makes you a good person to marry. I mean, just ask. I guess you can't ask him; he's not alive anymore.
Janet, you're trampling on the hopes and dreams of many influencers who are right now trying to stream on Twitch instead of being on the center pole at Big Al's right now, and you're going to hurt the algorithm.
Like that lady that slept with like 600 and something people in 24 hours.
I don't even know.
I'm sure she's probably getting like Casey Anthony getting all these marriage proposals and shit. It's like, what is it about
Casey Anthony? Just because I can't trust her with fake plants doesn't mean she's a bad person.
Oh, it's disgusting. People are gross. I just don't understand it.
I don't understand.
What's funny is you got all these guys that bitch and moan that women are whores, that women are money grubbers, gold diggers. You know, they're all these things are fake. They steal, they lie, they don't tell the truth, whatever. All the terrible stories I've heard. Because you got to remember, I have more guy friends than I do girlfriends, simply because I was a tomboy growing up. So I don't know. I meld better when I'm hanging out with guys, and them being guys doesn't really bother me. I mean, I don't take offense to most everything they say, but I do listen to what they say about other women. You know what I mean? And I'm like, they say those terrible things, but yet when they date, that's what they want to date. They want to date somebody who has fake tits, a fake ass, fake everything. You know, they say, you know, she's blonde, and I'm like, her other hair isn't blonde because she's not a natural blonde. I can tell you that right now. You know, stuff like that. But the thing is, and then when they get dumped because she's looking for the next guy. Okay. If you're sitting with her at a bar and she's got her eyes on the door while you're sitting there paying for all her drinks, she ain't with you. You see what I mean?
I gotta share.
Guys want those bimbos, so you guys get what you deserve. What were you saying? I'm sorry, I couldn't shut up.
I'm gonna share something with you.
Okay.
I want you to play this. This is the comedian who can't play at a conventional shop because they will try to shut her down. This is Leonarda Joni.
So she's a singer?
Nope, she's a fucking comedian.
Oh, okay. Let's see what she does.
Oh, you'll love it. Ready? Ready?
Yep.
I prepared a list to help unattractive women realize that they're unattractive. Because I realize that no one's going to tell you your face because they don't want to hurt your feelings. Number one, you work in an office. No attractive woman works in an office for longer than it takes for the CEO to start banging her and setting her up in an apartment. You take the bus. You will never see an attractive woman at a bus stop. She'll either be picked up in traffic or she's got a man who loves her enough who'll drive her wherever she needs to go. You post a picture on Instagram and there are tons of comments telling you how beautiful you are from other women. I got bad news for you, sweetie. Ugly women love to boost other ugly women. They think that if they can bring down the scale of attractiveness to the level that they're at, so every level, then they cannot be revealed for being the hideous monsters that they actually are. You're Asian. I don't need to explain that. I prepared a list.
She's absolutely vicious.
Yeah, but she's funny.
Oh, I love her to bits.
She's funny, and she's got a unique accent. Is she from New England or something?
She's from New York. She's
yeah.
Brooklyn girl.
Yeah, because I got a little girl who's from Albany in Maine.
She just got married. I'm so upset. Anyway, no, she's fucking hilarious. She goes and when she goes on tour, she'll build her tour where she wants to go, and then she starts calling like KFC halls and non-traditional venues, and she'll sell them out and piss off the libs. Because she's funny as shit, and they don't like her fact that she's fucking funny. And like she makes fun of everything. Like she's the female Don Rickles, and I really appreciate her for what she brings to the table.
Yeah,
there were some things that I wanted to share with us tonight, but it's just fucking late. We're almost at 3-hour mark.
Yeah,
And
we're just under 3 hours, and I'm getting more and more stuffed up as we go. I don't know if you noticed it, but
I could hear you back at 9:30, and you were like,
oh my God, it just hits like a ton of bricks. People who don't have allergies, and when my phone goes off, it says "Hi, pollen alert," grass or ragweed or whatever the different thing is. It's like, God, when is it going to end? It doesn't end when you live in this state. It never ends unless it got 2-month window right there when it's snowy or ice. I love those are my 2 favorite months. But
so
I suffer.
I'm since we've got your people pulled together and some of mine, I'm going to reveal something. This week we're reviewing Escape from New York on Sunday.
A movie I picked.
On next week, we are reviewing a film that's been recommended to me time and time again. On the 27th of July, we are reviewing a film from 1984, one of the best years in movies, called Night of the Comet.
It's another good one. I think, did I pick that one too?
I don't know.
Oh,
it's just on the list. It's on the list.
I thought it was a good movie. And
it's on the list,
the 2 sisters in that remind me of Sandy and I. So
that's everything I have to say.
So, okay. Well, everybody have a wonderful evening, and thank you so much for hanging with us. And I hope you guys come say hi tomorrow. If you're not busy, stop by while we're playing Dungeons and Dragons and or Pathfinder, whatever you want to call it. And just stop in and say hello. And we're gonna just relax and have a good day. So you guys,
and if you've got something you want to share, if you want to try to help out the people of Texas, if you get to Bunker Branding on the west side of San Antonio, it's over by Bernie. Bunker Branding has the best way to get things to the EMS persons. So you could try to use Red Cross, but Bunker Branding has also got a setup to where you can go inside and you can take care of any needs. Like if you want to just donate toilet paper or canned goods or something for the people that are searching for those that are still lost, that'd be really appreciated. I don't know when they're going to call this off. I really hope they don't. I really hope they find everybody. But Bunker Branding in Bernie, Texas is going to be the place you want to get that relief to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, pray for the people who've been devastated by all these floods in Texas, and I think it's still North Carolina. So, yeah, it's been bad. One movie I want to put on the list, though, Bruce, is Arthur.
Okay.
So it's a good comedy because
I recognize that. I
don't pick very many comedies, so it's a good.
You still need to see Hundreds of Beavers.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be a while before I'm going to watch that one. But thank you, everyone, and you guys have a wonderful weekend. Talk to you later.
Deep Rising, great hard book. I love that movie.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
You wear nice clothes, people think you're showing off. If you wear simple clothes, people think you're poor. If you speak your mind, you're rude. If you stay quiet, then you're a coward. If you're successful, then you're arrogant. And if you're struggling, then you're lazy. You see, no matter what you do in life, people will always have something to say. So ignore people and their opinions. Because so long as your God is pleased with you, who cares what people think?
He knows that this is much bigger than him. This is about the American people. They have no idea what they have unleashed. He was ready to go face the cameras and come out swinging.
What will future Americans say we did in our brief time here on Earth? It will be defined by your vision, your perseverance, and your grit. Nothing will sway us, nothing will slow us, and no one will ever stop us. We are Americans. Ambition is our heritage. Greatness is our birthright. And the future belongs to us.